You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Oh, wow. I'm tired, Rob.
Yeah. 5 minutes of setup and you're worn
Woo!
out.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, Thursday Night Live call-in show. I'm your host, Carlos.
I'm Rob.
Along with me, our buddy Rob, Wayne, Mike, all the way from West Coast. And then joining us tonight, my man, William. How you doing, brother?
I'm ready for a vacation. I'm ready to game.
Is just a few days
less than a week
away.
Less than a week, baby.
I busted my butt at work just for this, so I can do this for a whole week.
I busted my butt at work, but it didn't get me anywhere. But that's a different story.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Felt like a hamster in a wheel, and I didn't hardly do anything. So anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about tonight.
No, it's not the calling about work show.
We're here to talk about games and nerdy stuff and cool stuff and not even cool stuff.
Yeah, and what we'll do is in 9:20, we'll open up the phone lines for you to jump in. That's how we do every week. We talk about a little bit about what we've been up to, and then at 9:20, we open up the phone lines, go till about 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Just talking about what you want to talk about, take your phone calls, and enjoy just good old-fashioned camaraderie around a hobby we love.
Just hanging out. Yeah.
The reason I'm tired is we're still in the middle of a game
Didn't quite finish.
Almost. We're so close.
Quacks at Quedlinburg.
I thought we can get it in 45 minutes. I really did.
Yeah.
But we added Rob. So my wife, myself, and Rob in a game. I'm currently in the lead. But, man, I'm giving up those rat tails. If you ever play Quacks, those rat tails.
Catch-up mechanic.
They don't feel right when you're in the lead.
Yeah. It sucks when you're in the lead.
When you're in the back, you're like, oh, these rat tails are awesome.
Yeah.
But when you're in the lead, you're giving up that catch-up mechanism. It just don't feel good.
Nope.
That is true.
So don't jump out in the lead.
So now we put the game on pause. At 11 o'clock, we will come back and finish our round and score it up and see where we end up. But that really came from a great conversation. The desire to play Quacks. This will be my third game in 2 days of Quacks. Came from listening to the podcast where my man Wayne and our Red Bean all the way out of Louisiana, Mitchell, talked about different player counts. And for some reason, Quacks kept coming up in that podcast conversation. Wayne, how'd that podcast go?
Oh,
No
we
audio.
can't hear
no
you.
audio from you,
Are you
Wayne.
on mute?
No.
Check your switch on the mic.
He was talking a few minutes ago.
Well, we'll talk it up
So
until he
something's
joins us.
Anyway.
Him and Mitchell talked about player counts, which actually was pretty cool because that was the topic last week on Board Game Smorgasbord.
That's the Thursday one.
The Dice Tower one?
Yeah.
Smorgasbord?
Schmurgersburg.
Yeah.
So the week before, they talked about player counts. That was their main topic, and it was nice to hear Wayne and Mitchell talk. I think it even got down to 0 on player count as part of the conversation, where a game was shared, apparently, that it has an AI for both the players. So, like, there's an extra player you can add to the game. So, a player's an AI. But then there's also the board. The bad guy is an AI. So if you choose, you can just run both the player AI versus the board AI and just kind of watch the game progress without you.
Oh, you're
That
talking
doesn't
about
sound very fun.
Yeah, what was that game? Something ate something. I got eaten or something like
Yes.
that. Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
I think
Why-
Kyle
why
was
would
talking
it-
about it.
Well,
Why
that time
would
I
you
got
wanna do
eaten.
that?
I was
both,
eaten.
yeah, both sides have a because in the game you can play as either the monster. Well, usually it's head to head. One person's playing the monster and one's playing the human. And Wayne, you back with us?
Yeah, you hear me?
Hey, okay,
Nice.
So
Yeah,
one
man.
can be the monster, one can be the human. But you can take. So they make an AI deck or whatever for the other side.
Rob,
so you
your
can choose.
audio's all messed up now.
it's Wayne's fault.
Wayne did it. Yeah. If my audio's messed up, I believe
He walked in, man.
Carlos's
That's
audio will be messed up. Yeah. Carlos is clicking on all kinds of stuff here.
No, we got audio. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
Y'all hearing
I-
us
No
okay?
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not hearing.
Internet's
like-
weird.
It's only when Rob talks, apparently.
Oh yeah. Okay, you're not hearing me. Okay.
Oh, now I can.
Me?
Yeah, now you're
Me?
clear.
You? Me?
Technical difficulties.
Okay.
Hey,
all right.
if something wasn't going wrong, this wouldn't be a good show. You know, it's we're very consistent over here.
Anyway, so I was saying the AI, one person can play. You're supposed to play one person's the human, one person's the monster, but they made an AI for each side so that if you want to solo the game, one person you can play either one, and then the other side will run as an AI. But then you can But technically, the game can play itself, because if you take yourself out of it and just run the 2 AI decks, it's really, I guess they consider the game playing against itself. It's a gimmick, but whatever.
Yeah, talking about the zero.
And
player
Mother
kind of
Russia
game.
gameplay you.
Yeah. So you can just sit and watch the game play itself. That sounds like fun, right? No, not so much.
So tell me about your favorite
No.
player count.
Really,
Wayne. You and I had a lot of the same thoughts.
Oh.
Your points were like on point for me.
Oh, was it? All right. Well, I mean, so the Quacks came up a lot just because I had gotten a copy for Father's Day and gotten the first play of it at our game day at For Honor and Glory. And it just, player count for me, 3 or 4, really 4 is a sweet spot because you don't get the team up. I think in 3-player games, sometimes you get, 2 people kind of ganging up on somebody else. Where in a 4-player game, you might not get that as much. But once you get past 4, especially with a lot of Euro games, it tends to add just an exponential amount of playtime. So, a 2-hour game becomes a 3.5-hour game because you added a 5th player. So usually that's why I came in the 4 range and Mitchell had came in the 3 range as far as our favorite game.
I was gonna say I think his reasoning was because he wanted to keep the game short, and we know Mitchell, he likes to blast through games and get through as much as he can. So
Holy crap.
he likes the 3-player because he can get it's not just 2. He doesn't like just the head-to-head. He likes a little variety, but he doesn't like 4 because 4 takes too long. So
See, and I'm with Wayne on the idea that 4 is a good number. Speak English. 4 is a good number because at 3, you get that gang up, that easy
Sometimes.
to gang up. Sometimes. I don't know.
It's also dependent on the game too.
Yeah, it
right?
depends on the game,
yeah,
I think.
yeah, game
Or the players.
mechanisms
And then
stuff,
we talked about like how some between 3, 4, and 5 players where
I gang up on
you're-
Carlos all the time.
we know.
in like worker placement games, you get, it either opens up additional spots or it gets really tight at 3 or 4, when you really loose at 3 or really tight at 5 because of spaces availability, depending on if it's a worker placement or, Euro type game. But yeah, it was a fun conversation. But then we had obviously technical difficulties. That sucked.
Speaking of technical difficulties, Wayne was on another show. He represented the Beans and Dice with Crystal from what's Crystal's last name? I always forget.
Crystal
her last
Dax,
Dax,
I think
there
is
you
what she goes by. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
on the board game Blitz, she's part of the Tabletop Network, and she had reached out. It was funny is last week while we were on our show, she had messaged me on Discord saying that looking to see if somebody from the Beans and Dice crew was available on Sunday. They were doing a 24-hour game-a-thon where they they go between Brothers Murph and all the Luza and all those folks, and she was playing a game called Dog Park, which was on Kickstarter. So
Yep.
I was available, so I represented the show here, and everything worked fine on Tabletopia. We did pre-testing, was great, and then the moment it became to go live, Tabletopia just wouldn't load for me. Like at all. Like I kept just airing out nonstop. Like, and I'm like, it's like 5 minutes to go before the show. And I'm just in my internal monologue was just like, beep, just constant. But man, Crystal was really cool. You could tell that she's done a lot of the streaming stuff because she was just like, it's good. I can talk for a bit. I'm just going to riff.
She filled space.
Yeah. She's like, oh, she was so good. She's like, I know. She's like right before we went live, she's like, I know in your head you're screaming right now, but relax, it'll be fine. We'll get it working, and we did. And I got it working. It was a little slow for some reason, but I got it working. And then like halfway through the stream, one of the other guys, they lost power in their house.
No.
Like they had like a storm, and they were up in like the Michigan area and had a storm and lost power for like a minute. And then so it was like every one of us at one point had technical difficulties during the game, but it was really fun to do a Twitch stream live. And it was really fun to play the dog park game. It was actually a fun little game. It's pretty light. I mean, it's kind of in the trekking the world kind of weightish range.
Yep.
And so I would definitely recommend it if you have a family, if you love dogs, or you want to introduce gaming to somebody who loves dogs. It's like, the perfect kind of game for that entry level gamer or family game. It's kind of cool because you're kind of bidding and collecting dogs and then walking them to score points. And then you can there's a new expansion with tricks where you can train the dogs to do different tricks. So if you're a dog lover, looking for a light entry level game, sort of, I think it hits a hit there, and it's on Kickstarter now, so it's kind of cool. But it was really nice of her to ask us, and I had a good time. And she said that she would, maybe reach out to members of our crew to join in future streams, so that'd be fun. So
Cool.
Yeah. Wayne, let me ask you. So I have the Kickstarter, and I haven't opened it yet. But my question is, it gets compared a lot to Wingspan. Do you see any validity in that?
In that you're collecting dogs, and the dogs have different powers, sort of. And you're it's very light. It's much lighter than Wingspan. So I
Okay.
wouldn't necessarily compare it to Wingspan. But it has some, you score based upon having the most of various breeds, and then
Right.
you're bidding with your victory points a little bit to buy dogs, and then when you walk them, you walk through the park, and you can it's kind of like parks, almost like where you're walking through the park and you can go far ahead to get things, but then everyone else catches up to you, type thing, and whoever gets through
okay.
the park first. So it's got a couple like nice ways of introducing different mechanics, bidding, and then resource management, and then going into the park to get the resources, and then the new expansion adds kind of tricks to the dog. So it was a fun game. Like I'm thinking about backing it actually to give it as a present. My sister-in-law, my wife's sister, is a professional dog groomer, and so I think, and she likes board games, so this would be like a perfect board game for her.
Talk to me after the show.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right. I know there was a lot of dog talk in that game. Crystal even had a doggy cam where she had her dog on a
Yeah,
separate
was pretty
camera in
cool.
the corner.
Yeah.
Just
She's got
sleeping
she
most
had
of the
two-
time. But
Two of them. There was actually two of them there.
Two
One
of them,
you just
yeah, that's
couldn't
right.
see. Yeah, it was fun.
yeah.
That was cool.
I think the biggest thing that I got out of watching that whole stream was how kind she is.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
how just she was just so willing to give time and help to make sure that you had the opportunity to play with them live. So that was so cool to see, and I was so glad to see you on there, Wayne. I know that you had mentioned to me, right, in a private conversation, which I'll just throw out here and everywhere, how you had concerns about how you represented Beans and Dice on there. You didn't post a link on it, but I'll tell you what, brother,
It was good.
you are one of the beans.
Yeah.
So you did a great job on there, and no, you
He's one
You
of the
represented
dice.
well.
What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, I'm not a bean. Right?
Yeah, the dice.
William's
No,
a
it doesn't
bean.
matter.
Yeah, William's a bean. We're the dice. Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
spicy bean. I'm the spicy bean.
Yeah, see, William's a bean. He's
Yeah, I don't give a
definitely
crap.
bean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the
that was cool.
legume.
So thank you for doing that. Thank you for joining in on that and getting the word out.
Yep.
You're getting the word out almost as much as Mitch and BJ are on the Louisiana show about
Yeah.
Beans and Dice.
Oh yeah.
The official
Yeah.
sponsors of Beans and
That's
Dice.
right. And that's Mitch.
Official,
Mitch is
unofficial.
not here
Yeah.
tonight because he's back on BJ's show tonight.
Yes, I saw they're streaming right now. So again, we're cross streaming against.
Are they
each
not
other.
off
Yeah.
cycle again?
Mm.
Ay, Dios mío.
He's a traitor,
Yeah.
man.
Mhm.
How dare he?
Maybe they'll call in live as they did once or twice before now from their stream to our stream. So yeah, funny. Anyway,
Michael, anything you've been up to you want to share with the folks at home before we open up the phone lines?
No, other than a couple of acquisitions. But we had we had the Pacific Northwest game swap this past weekend, and it went from like 9 in the morning till I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 in the afternoon. And stupid me didn't put any sunscreen on, so I got a nice burn from that.
Ooh. Are you sure it wasn't from the boat?
It could be, possibly.
yeah, sitting on that ferry last week.
But I think I sent you guys a couple of pictures of when it was like starting. I tried to get rid of some of my big box stuff. I definitely sold some games, but not as much as I would have liked. And then they had like an auction, which was kind of cool at the very end. It was just like, if you want to sell something and you don't care what it goes for, it's basically they set up all these tables and you had to post it on it with your name, your starting bid, and have at it, anything that you want to describe the game as. And I'd say 95% of the games were starting at $1. Some of them didn't even sell, and it was just a guy on a microphone saying, okay, we got such and such starting at $1, and it just kept going until somebody, going once, going twice. And he was probably burning through games. He was probably doing one game every maybe 10 to 15 seconds.
Wow.
And he was up there for hours. That tells you how many games were up there. So, and it was like
That's cool.
everything from, crappy little box, game that you haven't seen in forever to some guy put an entire Star Realms Kickstarter box set. Like everything in Star. I mean, it was the whole gamut, and it was crazy what some of the stuff was going for. So, but it was pretty cool. I would definitely do it again. They also had like a huge math trade prior to that that I didn't get into, but that's really all that really happened.
Man, I get addicted to those auctions though, because like Gen Con has that like 4-day long auction, And like at Dragon Con, they have auctions too. And I'll go there and I'll just get sucked in and be sitting there for like 5 hours. Like, what the hell am I doing? I'm just watching this.
Yeah.
But it's like it can be entertaining as heck to see stuff and then see people get into bidding wars on stuff. It gets pretty crazy.
Speaking of selling games, it's not an auction, but I just was looking at the Dice Tower again next week. Many of us are going to be at Dice Tower Dice Tower East in Orlando, and I was just looking at their schedule of events. And Tom's personal sale of his games
Again?
is going to be Saturday. It's Friday or Saturday at 6 a.m.
Saturday's
Yeah.
the flea
God,
market.
6
I have to
a.m.
go set up at 6 a.m.
is the crazy thing. Will was the same. Yeah, I can see if you're selling something or whatever, but he's actually going to open.
It'll be packed.
Yeah, at 6 a.m. Yeah, can you imagine? There's probably going to be several hundred people down there at 6 a.m. So Tom is famous for
It can't
being
be Saturday
being a
then,
morning-
because Saturday we're setting up
Seemed like it was Friday.
for the flea market at
Yeah.
6 a.m. Saturday.
Which surprised me. I think it was Friday because it surprised me because Friday is when people usually Friday afternoon is when a lot of people start rolling in. They're getting off work. They left work early. They're getting over there. They're checking into the hotel. And I think it was Saturday. I'd have to double check. I can look it up in a minute. But I think it was 6 a.m. On Saturday or on Friday, which is crazy. I
Yeah,
can't
that's
imagine.
early.
Yeah, Tom's an early bird, so he's kind of famous for that. He goes to bed early and gets up early. But anyway, so I've always kind of walked through his little sale there, but I don't know at 6 a.m. We'll have to see if I'm conscious at that point. So
That's
Yeah,
kind of
I got enough
crazy.
stuff. I got like 2 games,
I got sleeping
brand
to
new.
do.
yeah,
I did get Lord of the Rings, the card game.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
saw
bring
that
that.
William, you posted up the Lord of the Rings card game, War of the Ring. The
So
card
War of
game
the
you
Ring
picked it up.
card game. I'm gonna bring that. Plus the second edition, actually, War of the Ring. I'm gonna bring that as well.
cool.
And then another trick taking game, which I think you guys might like.
What's it called?
Oh, he was describing this one to me earlier, so I wanted to get the name from you so we can pull it up.
It's called the Emperor's Barracks.
I haven't heard of that one.
So
It just GMT
Friday,
just came
7
out with it.
a.m.
Friday at 7 a.m. Okay, 7 a.m. Friday. That's the Tom sale. So again, even 7 a.m. That's just crazy to me.
The Saturday morning flea market's at 7 a.m. also, by the way.
How many hours do those run? Does it say when they're going to end? 7 to what? No, just to whenever.
Sorry, Will,
I think
what was
Carlos-
that, the rule book you're showing?
Carlos is trying to pull it up
The
here.
game that he wanted to look up.
The Barracks Emperors.
Oh yeah, the Barracks Emperor. Sorry,
Barracks
yeah.
Emperors. Okay, he found it.
So William was telling me it's a trick-taking game from GMT.
Card game set during the time of crisis.
Yeah, instead of where you play one trick at a time, the board has all 13 tricks displayed at one time. So you're fighting for all 13 tricks in 3 different rounds. So that's where like the whole strategy comes into, because that's what GMT is known for, is mostly strategy type, games of conflict like that. Right. So everywhere there's a little laurel is where an emperor goes in there that you're trying to influence. And based on where you're sitting on the table on the 4 sides, you can only put the card that you're going to use to play on that emperor, which is the trick, on that side of the emperor. You can't place your card anywhere else. So whatever card you place, not only plays it for that emperor, but also can plays it for an emperor on the other side of that board for another player. So you could potentially play a card for something that you really want, but at the same time also block someone else or help them. So the game is. I think once I get on the board, you guys will probably like it. It's an interesting game.
Yeah, I'm not quite catching on, but it's probably one I'll have to see.
Well, you see right there where it says like the sword, the eagle, the pillar, the
Yeah, let me get back to it.
the
Sorry.
wreath. Yeah. So you play a
Are
card
those
on
the suits that we're talking about?
Yes. So the suits are the colors. So there's blue, red, and yellow.
Oh, okay.
And then they're numbered, but all the cards have special powers. So, if you read the rule book, which is the rule book's like for 4-player game, the rules is maybe like 3 pages.
Okay.
And then it's got obviously a GMT game. It's there's a solo mechanic to it.
I do like the idea of an abstract or trick taking. So other rules that have that war game theme, that historical theme, because I like
Right.
historical games. So exploring
this
new
does
mechanisms in a historical theme versus just area control or combat. To
Right.
me, it sounds exciting.
This does have a rule in it too, because you only have a hand limit of 4 cards in your hand to play, and if you play a very powerful card, the other cards that are available to you in the market per se, if you play a very powerful card, you must take a weak card in your hand for future rounds. So there's that balance of that mechanic. So you just can't constantly like, I'm just gonna hold all the number 8s in my hand, because once you play the 8, you're gonna have to take a 1 or a 2 back into your hand that's displayed on the board.
I'm willing to
And
sit with you, William. Is this
Yeah.
2 or is it 2 or
It's
just
really
3?
designed. It's really designed for 4 players.
4,
You
it
can't
sounds
play
like.
2 players.
Yeah, 4 player.
Okay, designed for 4.
Right.
Best at 2, it says.
Yeah, it says on here best at 2.
I'm willing to sit with you and read through the rules to figure it out, and then maybe introduce others to it. So, like when we get together at Dice Tower, you and me, we tend to do a lot of war games. I say we sit down one morning, have breakfast, and then when our brains were working right, sit down and kind of figure this one out.
Well, then that's not going to happen because it doesn't happen for you.
Wah, wah.
He's trying to figure out right now what I just said.
What's the comeback on that? What's the comeback?
I'm just gonna sip on my rum.
Speaking of GMT and new games, I mean, this is the brand new one. Looks like from GMT.
Phone lines open 813-618-7099. Go ahead, Robert.
I just was at Dan's house playing Arkham a couple nights ago, and he got in the new, what's this, Mr. President or whatever this.
Dan has a copy of that.
Yeah, he's got a copy of it.
Yeah.
And
course
so
he
I sent
does.
him a picture. There was one on the Dice Tower Discord of somebody had it all set up on the table.
Yeah.
And so I sent it over to Dan. Dan had no idea what it was or how big it was.
Oh,
and,
it's
he
a
was like,
4x. It fixed up a 4x6 table easy.
yeah, he was like, "Holy crap! Now I'm way more excited to play this game." But this it's solo only. It's a what was the weight? It's a 4 something.
4.4,
oh
and it's
my.
like a
Weight.
6-hour game.
4.2 almost, but yeah, like a 6-hour solo game. And yeah, I mean, this thing is incredible. He showed me the box. He just had the box sitting there. It's a Thunder Alley size box. I mean, so it's a big, fairly large, heavy, full of cardboard box. And yeah, I didn't know what it was.
Wait. Is that playing time correct?
Yes.
Yeah, 360 to
360 minutes to 600 minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, High Frontier, okay?
Yeah.
Mitchell
If
and I
Dan
talked
likes
about
High
this.
Frontier,
Yeah.
But High Frontier, you play with people. This is by yourself.
Solo.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I
dude,
was-
you got to open a photo. It's literally if it'll fit up an entire dining room table
Now,
with
before
just
we-
the
before we
boards
dig deep
and
into
all the
Mr.
chips and
President,
stuff.
we do have
He's
a
gonna open the phone
caller.
lines.
Yeah, hey, caller, what games do you play that last 600 minutes? State your name, where you calling from.
This is Rob from Atlanta, and if I was playing a game that plays 600 minutes, there's only one that I've actually done that for, and that is Twilight Imperium.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Right
Jack
answer.
Four.
It is
And yeah,
it's the ring
So,
game of the
War of the Rings?
War of the Ring. Is that anywhere close?
War of the Ring. No,
Okay.
War of the Ring is a 3-hour game,
3 hours.
maybe
Okay.
3.5.
Gotcha. Okay.
But every time I play Twilight Imperium, I've enjoyed it, except for one time where both got a little bit too hot.
That happens. That can happen.
Yeah.
I remember at my old house, my first time playing, I swore there was going to be a fist fight.
Carlos was getting hot in the first 2 hours.
It wasn't me. It was Zeno and someone else. They're about to
Oh,
go
Zeno
down.
and
it was you and Laurel.
Well, no,
Yeah,
Laurel kneecapped me.
Oh, right, but
I
you-
just seethed on the inside quietly.
Well, kind of. It wasn't completely quietly. I
But-
was there, but
Mike and Mike D
yeah.
and Zeno were stand up yelling at each other from across the table. I thought there was going to be fist thrown. It was pretty rough. So you were right, Ron. Twilight Imperium brings out emotions like very few games can, and I think it's that length of time.
Commitment.
When you're in a game for 8 hours and you still got like another 3 to go, and someone does something to really hurt your play and your plan, you feel it. You're hungry, you're tired,
Right.
you're cranky. You feel it.
Yeah. And the worst part about it is that, like, in Twilight Imperium, it's very hard to get eliminated, right? And so, like, you're just stuck like Chuck for playing the last 3 hours with your plan ruined and probably not getting out of last place. You know,
Yeah.
that
Mm-mm.
stuck. That feeling stuck. However, you know, I still go in playing the game, knowing that that's a possibility.
My man.
But I think, I think it's just an artifact of when this game was originally designed. There aren't too many modern games that I can think of that'll leave you like that, unless it's.
Hmm.
Oops. Sorry. Yeah. We lost you right at the very end there. Carlos is wiggling the cord on the phone here.
Are we good now?
You still there, Ron?
Man, what's with
Yep,
Carlos
I'm
messing?
still here.
Still,
All right.
I still have beer in the phone.
Yeah, we just missed your last word or two, but we got everything else you said. So
Well, the show is yours now. The topic's yours. What'd you call in about?
I heard Williams mention War of the Ring, and I had to jump on the line.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely bringing my copy. I'm talking about the board game, not the card game.
Well, I'm
Which
bringing
I do
both.
Also plan on. Yeah. So I would like to try the card game for sure.
I think the
I
card
haven't
game
pulled
does
through.
a good job at playing at 4. Am I right?
So there is a rule in the game when you play the card game with 4 players. There's no communicating between your teammates.
It's the same guy that did Quartermaster
Well,
General.
Quite a mess,
It's- It's a whole emphasis on they couldn't convey information across Middle Earth, so it's kind of like you say, hey, I think I'm going, kind of like Shadows of Camelot, where you're just like, hey, do you have enough power? Yes, I have great power to play this card, but something like that. But you really can't say, hey, I have Frodo in my hand.
It's
Okay.
kind of
gonna
like
play it.
Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
Gloomhaven like that.
It is. Yeah, Gloomhaven's like that, and like it keeps people from quarterbacking, and
like it.
also it's also, I think it's genre appropriate, because you had the Gondorians lighting the beacons, and that's calling Rohan, but they couldn't exactly tell them, hey, we need you like right here in this specific spot, in this in this situation. It was just like, hey, the beacons were lit, and hey, we need help, let's go. That's the best that they could do. So I kind of like that. I like the sound of that.
It's got a really good instrument mechanic though, because any card that you play, you have to discard another card to play it.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I like that kind of play too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
then
those are the tough decisions, is you can't really combo up too much because you're always burning a card out of your hand. It
Well,
really adds that decision.
No, you don't burn it because you can still get it back. You just don't have it right there for whatever battleground you're trying to go over. Yeah. Whatever battleground that you guys are currently facing, as the story progresses, because the rule book states, you can just jump right into it, or you can play the entire saga of Lord of the Rings. So it gives you setup options for all of it. So as I was reading through the rules, but basically you're picking and choosing where your battle area is. Are you fighting on Helm's Deep as opposed to somewhere else in the world of Middle Earth? So certain cards are more powerful in certain areas, things of that nature. And then certain cards you want to get rid of because they play better in your cycled area, as they call it. So
I'm gonna. Is Gandalf one of those cards?
yeah, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the whole mechanic of sacrificing himself, kind of deal.
Yeah.
I haven't read all the cards, but I read most. I read most of them. The artwork is the similar artwork style from the War of the Ring board game.
Sounds like you guys will be ready to teach.
Right.
But is this a shorter playtime than?
No, it's legit 2 hours at least. 90 minutes, like 90 minutes to 2 hours. Yeah.
There you go.
It's
I
very.
would think if
it's-
they make a card game version of something, it's supposed to make it easier.
I think it's because it's very abstract, very thinky.
2 hours is shorter than
Yeah.
3 hours last time I checked. But yeah.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Significantly?
Well, significantly. Now you throw that word in there. That changes everything.
33% shorter.
Yeah, there you go. I know about short.
Whoa.
It's not
It's
after
11
10
o'clock
yet.
Oh no. I'm 5'6", so I'm a short guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think just after thinking about it, I think my War of the Ring board game is the only board game I'm actually gonna bring because they have I know they're gonna have a nice blinged out version of Rebellion that's gonna be on the hot game table, and I cannot wait to play that. I'm sure it's gonna be phenomenal looking. And then other than that, they have Marvel Champions in the library. And quite frankly, I just haven't had the time to sit through and like curate, customized player decks. So I still might bring a couple of decks with me. But
The problem with that
Other than
Star
that-
Wars Rebellion is it's going to be so popular. All the people want to play with all the planets and
Yeah.
stuff. It's going to be interesting if you can get in there. Yeah.
yeah.
Especially
speaking
people
of-
who've already played the game
On
originally.
Brian Zeno is bringing his copy. I know actually he just said that on Saturday that he's going to bring his copy of Rebellion. He wants to play it.
Okay. Nice. Oh, I was gonna say, if you guys have not tried Last Light, it's legitimately good.
That the Roy Canaday game?
Yes. It's legitimately good. I'm sure there'll be. I'm not sure, but I'm sure Roy will have a copy for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
he's
I know
gonna
he
bring
had
it
a
in.
copy at Retreat, and a lot of folks were getting in
Yeah.
back to back to back on that one.
I remember I saw something
Yeah.
posted about it being at Dice Tower. It's not one of the hot games, is it?
No, but I think they're going to have a couple set up for demoing or something.
Okay, yeah, there was something
Yeah.
about it that it's going to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. I played it at Dice Tower East last year,
Yep.
and really enjoyed it. And that was just a prototype version. So
Right.
yeah, it's legit. Like 4X experience, it's not Twilight Imperium. It's not going to replace Twilight Imperium. But like, if you want to get that general feel, I think it does a good job. So I bring it up because I want to get another chance, another stab at it.
I'm
But
always
other
on the
than that,
lookout
like-
for a faster 4X game. Like, I'm looking forward to playing Clash of Cultures, but I know that's going to eat up 3.5 hours of my day.
So what? It's a lot
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Let's play it.
Oh no, we're doing it. We're still playing it. But Last Light is supposed to be a 4X space game that in less than 2 hours, I think.
Yes. My play, which was a full game, 8 players, it was an hour and 10 minutes.
Nice.
Whoa.
And that's without Mitchell
Yeah,
skewing the time zone.
Right. That was a Mitchell game.
Mitchell would have been done in 60 minutes.
Hurry up. Don't eat. Don't
Yeah.
drink.
Don't breathe. Just hurry up. Go.
Well, we look forward to seeing you there.
So-
I know I've been asking you about Easy D6. I know that I can get
Yep.
at least 3 people to join in. So like I'm still trying to drag Rob in.
I said I'll do it.
Okay, so that's me and Rob. That's 2, and I think Wayne will make 3. I believe Dan maybe would make 4.
Yeah.
Diego was asking about playing 2, so that might make 5.
So we'll yeah. At this point, I'm convinced that it's gonna happen because at least you and Wayne. I'm like, out of the other people that have said something, I'm like, if we just get one more person, that's 3 people. So like, I'm good to go.
Okay, good.
I printed out my materials and all this kind of stuff, and
Especially when you described it as
I-
being set in the Atlantis Rising board game. I think that'll change how I look at that game from here on forward as having played the RPG version of it.
Yeah. And just to kind of manage expectations, this is going to be set before the night, before the island is sunk. But like, because it's a mythic Greek, a mythic Greek setting, or mythic Greek inspired setting.
Cool.
So you have all the kind of So I'm looking forward to running it, and we'll see how it goes. But other than that, I'll be looking forward to playing lots of board games,
Oh yeah.
hanging out with folks. Yeah. But before I get there, I actually the reason why I was kind of rushing you, Carlos, is because tomorrow I get on the road, and I'm gonna be going to a wedding in a couple hours south of Atlanta with some friends that I know, and my oldest daughter is the flower girl in it,
Aw.
and so like we're looking forward to that. But the thing is that I gotta pack all my stuff, and we're gonna be getting on the road.
Nice.
So I needed to know.
All right, Bobby.
I needed to know when we're good.
Pack it up. Bring it with you. I'm going to put you and your family in prayer for a safe trip, okay?
I appreciate that. I really do. So unless something radically changes, I will see you guys Wednesday.
Yes. Planning on it.
Maybe-
Wednesday morning.
You know what? Even better, I'm going to make my wife put you in her prayers because they're stronger than mine. So I'm going to put wifey on this one for safe travels.
I'm planning to be there Wednesday morning at Open. I'm going to be lined up 9 a.m. ready to get that ticket, get in the door. So I'm going to stay till they kick me out on Sunday afternoon. So
All right. Sounds like a plan.
We'll see
All
you
right, well-
Wednesday.
All right. See you Wednesday.
looking forward to it. Thanks for calling, Ron.
Take care.
I will say this dice tower. I will actually stay the entire day on Sunday.
Woohoo!
I'm
For
actually
once.
staying overnight Sunday. Part of it is I want to spend more time with the family out there enjoying the Carib. So after Rob and I check out of the villa, we'll be checking into just a room so that we can keep the party going and enjoy the Sunday at the pool, Sunday night, Monday at the pool, and then drive back home to Tampa.
Nice.
So just kind of really using it for the family Carib Royale Resort piece. So I'm looking forward to that. But
I
this
already
show,
feel like. I'm sorry.
this
I already feel like
episode
there's
is
much
going to
time
be
going on.
about the top 20.
Oh.
And with all of us here, I know we can go long on our top 20s, and I know we're coming up to
Might be short.
the top of the hour.
Yeah, me and Wayne, I know, are short. Carlos is maybe Carlos has a bunch to carry, but I don't think I have any. So,
Has it really gotten this hard to
Yeah.
update our
Yeah,
top 20s
it's
now?
hard to get on there. I can talk about some games I played that aren't making the lists. but-
No, that
Yeah.
can be for next week because
Oh, okay.
I want to do the first week of each month. We talk about all the games we played the month before. So,
Okay.
first week of July, we'll talk about everything we played in June that didn't make the board. Like, everything we played, and especially everything that didn't make the board. But the third week of the last week of the month, which is this week, the last week of June.
Okay.
Let's update our board with what we have played that's going on the board.
Look on
Sounds like he
Rob's
put a lot of-
face.
Yeah, I'm going to think this through
I'm-
because I don't think that makes
yeah.
sense, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
So, okay.
yeah.
I think there's a different
English
better-
may not be my first
Yeah,
language, so
yeah.
there are probably better ways to say it. But the first week of the month, we talk about all the games we played the month before. And the last week of the month, we update our boards with just the games that are going on the board.
You want to do that the week after we did our updated board?
I'm with Rob,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I don't
it doesn't
agree
make
with him a
sense.
lot, but this
Yeah.
sounds confusing as hell.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's not
okay.
hard. It's
No,
just
it's not
whatever's
hard.
going
It
on the
just
board.
doesn't make sense. I'll tell you why it doesn't, but we'll do that later.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Offline. So we'll start with you, Rob. We'll get it the hell out of the way.
I don't have any.
Go for it.
I'm done.
That was it.
No, I don't have anything. put up there.
Nothing made it to the board.
Nothing.
So, nothing.
Wow.
In the month of June, you played nothing that you enjoy more than
Nope.
what's
And
currently,
what's
on the board.
Nope. Yep.
That's crazy. Hey, caller, state your name, where you're calling from, and tell us why Rob's wrong.
I'm wrong about what I played.
Rob is never wrong.
Hey, there you go, Jim Odak.
Oh,
How
you
are
called
ya?
in the backup, didn't you?
There it is.
Called in backup.
How's it going?
All right. I was actually, you guys are talking about moving the board. I was like, oh, crap, I'm going to hang up and call later.
Mm,
Then you answered
No,
before I
call now.
could
We
hang up.
you're good. You're good.
Do you have any updates to your top 20 board? Because we're seeing a lot of people posting their top 20s in our channel on Discord.
I'll tell you for one, I think Hegemony is going to rise. We've played it 4 times now.
Oh,
I really, really like it.
nice.
To the point, or I think I'm going to try to put together a game of it Wednesday morning at TTE.
First game of the con Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
All right, jump into something heavy like that. How long are the games taking?
So the first couple took 4 or 5 hours. The
Okay.
last one we played this past Friday, we got in 3 hours, under 3 hours, I think it was.
Okay.
And it was, 2 new players too. So
Okay.
maybe I'm getting better at teaching it.
I was going to ask if it was all people who'd played before, if it's just new players or what. But okay, so you can get a couple new players in. And still get 3 hours.
Sam and Ashley played for the first time.
Okay.
Are you getting better at teaching? Because you haven't taught us yet, so we're looking forward to learning. But we want you at
Well,
peakage.
Yeah.
What?
Teaching
Look for me
peakage.
Wednesday morning.
Peakage. Making up
we can
words.
do it.
Dice Tower, I'm not going to
So
be
the
there
other
till right around check-in. So it's like, what, 4 o'clock? Is that
I
check-in?
don't know when check-in time is, but
So Carlos time.
Figure it out. Make
It's
sure you
for
get
the
checked in
hotel.
before they
For
give
the
up our
hotel, it's 4
villas.
o'clock.
oh no, they don't do it with villas. I hope, but yeah.
Well, they did it to us last year.
Oh, that was in the towers though. A little different, but yeah. Mm.
I'll be there Tuesday night looking for a game too. So
That's right. You said you were going to be up there early. Yeah, nice,
yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'm
we
gonna-
got a game Saturday at my house playing the Great Wall. Been getting that out quite often, so I'm happy about that. That's also going to possibly move up the list.
I'm looking forward to that. That's you've got that scheduled. I'm playing with you on Wednesday. What time's that game? It's in the early afternoon, I think.
5 o'clock.
Oh, 5 o'clock. Okay, later afternoon. Got it. Okay, so I'll make sure I'm there for that. I know you had several games that you had planned in advance. How many you got to now?
Well, then Thursday is going to be TI with Zeno and Ed and that crew.
They're playing twice. He told me on Saturday. They
Wow.
got back to
Yeah.
back games with
Jesus.
TI scheduled. Yeah. He said that's all they're doing.
You know,
on
I like
Thursday.
long games.
Hold on, are they-
games, but that's even a bit much for me.
I have to ask: are they playing with both expansions?
I'm sure they
At least
are.
one of
No,
them.
he
is.
doesn't play
Oh,
without them
yeah, I
all.
don't think-
He
I don't-
plays everything.
Yeah, I think he plays everything always.
Oh,
15 hours the last time I played with
That's
that
at least a
band.
minimum of 10 hours. Minimum.
Yep, they've got back-to-back games scheduled. They're going to clean up one and start again. So
Until someone gets
And then
angry.
Friday, I got a
Friday, yep.
7-player game of Cthulhu Wars scheduled.
Oh, Cthulhu Wars, nice.
Looking forward to that a lot.
That's a good one. I haven't
And
played
I'm
that
leaving
in
the
a long
weekend
time.
open.
Okay, so you can actually get in some other gaming on the weekend.
You know what? He just said Cthulhu Wars. That remind me. Is Mo going to this Dice Tower?
He's
I have
not.
not heard of Mo going.
No, I talked to him about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and
Yeah,
he
that is one guy I miss playing some games with.
he asked me about how hard it was to get a ticket right now, and I told him no, there's tickets out there. So he told me he'd keep it in the back of his mind, but he had a bunch of stuff scheduled. He's had a busy life the last 2 years.
Yeah, I
So-
know.
But he's looking forward to getting back. He invited me out to some disc golf. He's playing a lot of disc golf on Saturday mornings, and so I'm going to hook up with him to go play some frisbee golf.
I'm currently going through ODAC's top 20.
Oh, there you go. Yep,
that
online.
he posted up in our Discord channel. We have a top 20 games in the Discord channel. Looking pretty good. Hegemony is 8 right now, but he feels it's going to be going up. I like where he has Mosaic.
Cthulhu Wars there at 10. Nice.
Speaking of Mosaic, I'm
After
almost
the Empire. That's good stuff.
I'm almost done painting one whole faction.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
How many factions are
posted-
there? Is what 6 in the game?
Well, I mean, there's 6 players, so one color, I guess.
Oh, okay.
As
Gotcha.
you
Yeah.
want to call it, or faction, however you want to call it. But yeah,
Jim, we just went through your top 20. So thank you for posting up and sharing. I'm not sure how you did this on BGG. I got to learn that.
Several people did that. Yeah, I don't know how they did it either, but
I was slow day at work. I was playing around. I was like, oh, let me try this out.
How does it work? Educate us.
You have an option under your account to create your own lists.
Yeah.
The hard part was kind of making it in reverse order, which I couldn't do. So you got to start at number 1 instead of number 20.
Okay.
yeah.
And doing it number 1.
And then, yeah. I just got Lords of Ragnarok, so I'm probably going to bring that this week. And
Yeah, I saw you post
man,
up
that's a
the pictures. A lot of stuff there.
yeah. I don't know. I'm not as into it as I thought I would so far, but I haven't really played through it yet.
Okay.
you have a lot of games in there that
It looks
are
great.
really long.
Yeah, Odak said it. He's okay with long games, just not
It's like
2 15-hour games back to back.
Jim's played his top 20 games
back to back.
this whole year.
Yeah.
Yeah. He just finished.
He just finished. He's only played 20 games.
And he won 19 of them.
Probably. Hmm.
Nice.
No, not if
Some of my
Sam
top
plays.
ones I
No,
never, like, yeah. Sam keeps my
if
butt.
Sam plays, they have like
Unk
this
is one of my
rivalry. It's
all-time
like
favorite games. Yeah. I never win at Unk. I love that game. I never win. In the last game of Hegemony was the first time I won that one. I played the corporation, and I think they're a little stronger.
That's a sign of a good teacher.
Well, yeah.
Jim, we look forward to seeing you at Dice Tower, and
Yes, absolutely. Can't wait to get some games in with you guys.
family coming out there with you.
Just no wild Serengeti, please.
No.
No. Yeah, get that
Aw,
giraffe.
I was hoping we could play that.
Talk about
Water
long
In the
games.
MF and water.
that was funny. Just like hearing you guys from the other table.
Yeah, that was good times at 2 a.m.
Every time we like turn around, like, what is going on over there?
Yeah. Crazy stuff.
All right, Jim. We'll see you Wednesday.
All righty. Later, gentlemen.
Thanks
See
for
ya.
calling. Good night, Jim.
All right. So Rob had Bupkis
No,
on his top 20 list.
no. That's hard to get on this list.
The reason I say
we've been talking about that.
the reason I say wrong, I mean, so if you go a whole month and you didn't play a single game that would go on the list.
I only have 5 games logged in the last month. So
Oh, really?
5 games I played in the last month. Yeah.
Oh, it's been a rough month?
So, yeah, I haven't played a whole lot of games. So
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry, Carlos. We're not like you.
yeah.
No,
But
no,
and
I
he's still
don't-
not including Gloomhaven and
Oh yeah,
Arkham.
Arkham LCG. But yeah,
That's because he wants to save space on the 20 board.
yeah. Maybe we'll have an all-time greatest hits, and we'll put those up there. But yeah,
Right at the end of the year.
yeah.
He'll shoot it to the top.
Yeah.
Mike, West Coast. How's that top 20 board looking over there?
Not too much has changed. Just before I go on, am I too loud? Like
No,
I'm
you're
trying to.
good, Bobby.
No, it's good.
Okay, because I'm showing as peaking on my end. I can't figure out my compressor.
You
But
were. We
anyway.
turned you down a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
turn it down on the StreamYard side.
Thank you. I think I've only played 2 games this past month just because of everything that's been going on. One of them was Sleeping Gods, and that one's definitely going to make the top 20. I'm just not sure where it's going to land per se. I just haven't had any time to look at it,
How
unfortunately.
many plays of Sleeping God so far?
Matthew and I have, I want to say, a total of probably 6 to 7 hours over the course of 2 or 3 plays.
That's a good title. We've been
Yeah.
wanting to get it back on the board.
Actually, if Nick called tonight, I was gonna ask him if we maybe should pack that up and bring that to Dice Tower and see if we can finish our first run. We got about 2/3 of the way through our first quote unquote run of the game.
How many
And,
totems did you find?
We found it's been a long time since we played. I'm gonna say 3-ish, 2 or 3.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So
My
we played-
understanding is you're supposed to fail at it multiple times
okay.
so that you know where all the totems are, and then when you're like ready to quote unquote win, you just know where to go for all the totems.
That reminds me of like old video games.
Yeah.
You
Fail
died,
over
you
and
saw
over
it.
and over. Now I know to jump at that ledge.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, good game. Yeah, we've played. I was just say did we play 2 or 3 sessions? I think it might have been 3 sessions, about 2 hours a shot, and we've got about 2 hours left in it. I think.
Nice.
Well, we got a caller coming in. We're talking our top 20 ranking boards. Caller, state your name. Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Lori. I'm in Brandon, Florida, and I don't have my top 20 board, but I have a couple of questions for you guys.
Yeah, no
Oh.
problem. You take over the show.
First time caller?
I'm sorry?
First time caller?
Yes.
Oh, we got to do like a song and dance. First time caller.
Yeah, she's been chatting in the YouTube
Yeah.
chats.
Saw that, yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Would you do pom-poms or, sparklers or something?
Oh yeah,
Um,
Okay.
he's got some noises on the thing. He'll find one over there. Yeah.
How about we hit her with the DJ horn?
DJ horn.
oh,
That's
you
a
would
little
do
loud.
that, really? You had to go really bean on that one.
Yeah.
It's Stewie's montage.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
All I have is paint on my desk. I can't do anything else.
So I've been out mission. So, in South Florida, there's a little one-day con called Flamingo Con. It is really a lot of fun. And one of the things that I always try to do when I go to a convention is I want to play new things. I want to play things that I maybe have shied away from because of time length, or I initially didn't think it would be fun. So
Right
the
answer.
first one that I got right. And it's like, oh, do you want to play this? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not, right? So I got to play Dune Imperium, and I'm like, wow, what a game!
Oh, what a game! What a game! Yep.
Yeah, and then I played a couple of others, but what I noticed is somebody pulled out the game Hadara, and I had seen it on Board Game Arena, and somebody had mentioned to me at one point that it was very like Finca, which is a game I can never get a hold of. It's just never anywhere. But it's not a new game. It's been in print for a while, and we sat down and play it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the most fun game I've played in so long. I like games that have a built-in time limit to it, things that are clever, that have mechanics in it, maybe I haven't experienced. So, yeah, so I love all these new games that are out, but do you guys have games that you've played in the past month or so that maybe you weren't expecting to be something that you would enjoy, that, wow, this is really clever, this is really cute. I don't want to say cute because I don't mean like fuzzy, but I mean the mechanics work well, it's smart, it worked with 2 players and 5 players. Anything like that that's floating your boat right now?
So like a pleasant surprise, would that be a good way to describe it?
A pleasant surprise. And what happened is I took it back to my group. I bought a copy immediately, and I took it back to my group, and I taught it 2 or 3 times, and now everybody's like going, oh, this is a great game. So it wasn't just a pleasant surprise, but it was a shared pleasantness.
All right. I'll lead off, gentlemen. I shirked the opportunity to play this game. My buddy of mine, Max Burrs, longtime friend, him and the boys will spend the night here at Casa de Carlos, and we'll play board games all night long. And that kind of a close friend brought a copy of Oh My Goods to Your Turn one day, and he was just itching to teach it and play it. He just talked about how much he loved it.
Yeah.
And I grabbed someone else and said, you can take my spot. And kind of just said, I'll just learn and watch. And then kind of slowly walked away.
Yeah, didn't pay much attention. Yeah.
It's just like looking at it, the cards, the artwork. It's one of those Wayne games. Wayne co-host Wayne. Where it's got
It's a boring cover with a...
It's got your radar.
Yeah, it's got the boring old white European guy on it, on the cover. It just doesn't look like my style. Well, I got invited to Max's son's birthday party with my boy. So it was almost like a captive audience where he got to bust out Oh My Goods, and I could not walk away.
Oh, yeah.
So
we both played. Yeah.
We set it up. We played it. And oh, my goodness.
It was good. Yeah.
That was
good.
solid.
Yeah.
That felt like a big board game in one deck form that could be played on a small table.
Yep.
Smallish table. So Oh My Goods is the one that stood out for me.
That's a good call out. That was a good one.
Anybody have any pleasant surprise lately? William,
Yeah,
Wayne,
I got one. And
I
actually,
think
I think
we might have the same one, Wayne, but go ahead.
Yeah, Robbie, you're the one that brought it if you want to kick it off.
Oh, no. Well,
Wait, y'all are guessing. Which is it?
Well, this is a little different example just because this is based on a game that we already know. So this is based off of Sushi Go. But my kids bought me for Father's Day. They bought me, I'm going to get the official title here, Sushi Go, Spend Some for Dim Sum. And we thought, oh, okay, well, this is, a cute little, it's $19.99 at Target. And we were like, there can't be much to this game. I'm going to call it the hit of the game day on Saturday. And there was probably about 10 different games, maybe not quite 10, 8 or 9 different games played on Saturday. We taught this game. We played this game 5 times in a row. We reset it. You can play it in about 15 minutes. And I am going to go on a limb, and actually several people said this. I'm going to say this is actually my favorite version of Sushi Go. Better than the card game, better than the dice game. It's really cute. It's got the toy factor. But go ahead, Wayne. I know you want to jump in on it.
Yeah, no, I was just saying the same thing.
Is it an expansion or is it a standalone?
Standalone game. Yep, standalone game just came out. It's at Target for $19.99, and I figured $19.99 Target game. not designed by praise be Phil Walker Harding, but based upon the game, right?
Yep.
But and we, I asked Rob to bring it. I read the rules while they were finishing up with the game, and I'm like, oh, this is easy. It's you put out the dim sum on a little cool little spinning board. There's a little squishy dim sum thing for the middle, and you're collecting 12 pieces of dim sum from the plate in front of you, and then you score. It has kind of like scoring mechanisms like Sushi Go, and we played it, and then we were immediately like, all right, let's play that again. And then a couple of people got up and some new people came in, taught them within 30 seconds, and we played another game. And then a couple of people left. And so, we played it 5 or 6 times in a row with 10, 8, 9 different people.
Yeah.
And it was just bam, 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 bam. And like I immediately on the way home from the game day bought it from Target on the way home.
Stopped at Target.
Stopped at Target, bought it because it was like for $20. It's a great game. My kid and wife love it. So.
You know what? My wife's been trying to get me to take her to Target.
There you go.
I always try to shake it. I always try to shake it.
Excuse.
Just check to make sure it's in stock before you go.
Well, honey, we'll just go, and then you happen to go down the toy aisle, and someone mentioned this list. You can feign innocence at the same time and get brownie points for taking her to Target and get her Starbucks fee.
There you go.
Oh, geez, Lori's got the check boxes for like how to win at marriage.
Hitting them all.
All I know is that every trip to Target ends up like being $200 though. Like it just.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you can at least get $19.99 out of that for yourself.
Oh,
There you go.
I'm with. Okay, it's worth it. It's and I'm surprised, gentlemen, because this is supposed to be the lighter version
it's
of
super light.
Sushi Go.
It is lighter.
Yeah,
It's
it is light.
one round. You're not shuffling a deck because in Sushi Go you play 3 rounds. You score, then you have to write down the scores, and then you shuffle and do it again. You do that 3 times. This is 1 round. Everybody, it's like a draft, kind of a drafting game. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Everybody's doing one action real quick, and then everybody's taking. Once you have 12 pieces of sushi or of dim sum around your board, you're done. And so it's just one thing.
You probably could play multiple rounds, but it's really meant you could play 1 round and done. Yeah, it's really quick.
It's almost like the Seven Wonders architects of the Seven Wonders franchise. Like they lightened it up and made it fast and fun.
Yeah, and I'll say this: the toy factor is interesting because for $20, you get the cards aren't the best quality, right? But they go in a little stack. The actual dim sum rotating tray, the Lazy Susan thing, is actually really well made for $20. It has it's got like a little click mechanism, so it doesn't just spin freely. So it'll click around, and then you get the little squishy bun in the middle. It's fun to play with. So surprisingly fun game.
Laundry. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, it's done. Sorry about that, guys.
Are you good?
No problem.
Well, what I wanted to tell you about Hedara, real quick, is it's got a lot of really interesting mechanics. Like once you get it set up and taught, and the game goes really, really quick. Everybody is involved in every round, so you don't really have any downtime between turns. You have a decision to make every round, either to buy the card or sell the card. If you buy the card, obviously you're going to be using the money for it, but if you sell the card, you're going to gain money. So there's an advantage to every single thing you do. You just need to weigh out these advantages. The board setup is random, so it's going to be different every time. And then each person, there's going to be 3 different people that have a decision of where the spinner begins and where everybody starts pulling their cards from. Those decisions make such a randomness to it, but you still have to keep your head on you. And I taught 4 people. It was a 5-player game. I taught 4 people. They were looking at me like I was crazy. 2 turns in, they were like, oh, I got it. And we were full throttle for the rest of the game, and it was close, and I did not win, which I don't care as long as it's a really good, and, we got our teeth into it. And other people are walking around saying, this looks really, really good. I missed it on its release, and not sure why, but this is a really solid game, and I love it when you find that game that scratches so many fun itches. You see your board here, you're trying to collect all those different items, but there's so many different ways that you can increase how many items you have, and solid game. And it doesn't need an expansion, it doesn't need anything extra to it. It's good to go out of the box. Yeah. I love it when I find these. I almost feel like I won, $20 on a dollar scratcher. Like, wow. Okay, did not expect.
Yeah,
And so,
I've heard good
sorry.
things about this. I was going to say, just we've somebody, one of our callers has talked about this before. I want to say it might even be Mitchell that's played this, and he liked
And
it quite a
I've
bit.
played it.
Oh, have you? Okay, Wayne's played it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, it's good. It's really good. I like it a lot. It's the drafting, and then you're building up your powers, and it kind of builds on each other.
Yeah.
It's got some, a bunch of different tracks and scoring, so it's right up your alley, Rob.
Yeah, I like the tracks. I like the deck build, or not the deck building, the tableau building there that you got.
Yep.
But yeah, little pieces of wood on tracks that gets me super excited.
Wow, dude,
It's
your
really
choice
good.
of words, man.
The little chevrons at the end.
Mhm.
One person was kind of losing there at the end, but they were able to buy medals and buy some certain cards, and they were right in the middle of it. So just because you feel like you're out, you're not out. Those kinds of things are really great. And I think that, when you have a solid game like this float by you, and I think this is 2017, but I'm not sure, it might be 2019. But what I think is really great is a game like this from just a few years ago can get my entire group excited. So,
Yeah, 2019 title.
Yeah.
There's just too many games too many games coming out where we're missing good stuff. But you brought up the point, Lori, about when you go to cons, how you seek out new games to play. And I feel like I've been burned so many times when I play these new games. I'll have a day of maybe all duds, right? So then for me, I'm seeking the recommended game that I don't have. Hadara is going on that list. So that's the kind of game I want to play at a con, is a game that is recommended to me that I don't have access to on a regular basis.
Well, when I played Dune Imperium, I had avoided it because I'm one of the few that really doesn't care for the franchise that much. So it was like, do you want to play Dune? I'm like, no, I just never looked at it, kept on by. And I'm sitting there, and these guys I just played a game with, it may have been Hadara, said, let's try this game. And I'm like, they liked what I liked. Maybe I'll like what they like. And I'm like, sure, I will give it a chance. What's the worst going to happen? I'll sit there for 2 hours. I have this phone in front of me. I can do other things. But as soon as I saw what we were doing, and we're deck building, we're doing all this, and I saw some strategies, and I started moving towards that, I'm like, okay, I see it now. And it's just a reminder of when you have the opportunity to try something normally you've been passing by for whatever reason, maybe once in a while give it a shot, especially if they're playing and enjoying what you like, because that's going to give you some insight to maybe there's something there that you didn't realize. And who cares about the franchise that's getting over it? But cons are that. Cons are new people, new experiences, new games, sometimes new cities, sometimes new food. And I think that's why they are so successful is, they just give us all the newness. If you were going to just play the same old games with the same old people, stay home.
Oh, I fall into that a lot at cons, where I find myself with my same group of people playing the same games I love.
Yeah.
It's just, there's also the aspect for me of this is the dedicated time, right? Normally in my life, I'm balancing work and kids and gaming. From Wednesday to Sunday, the only thing I'm balancing is figuring out how to get a shower in each day while getting games played with friends.
I told you guys year in and year out. I always
that's a plus.
Yeah.
I always tell you guys year in, year out. I leave the group for quite a bit of time, and I will play a couple of games with some random folks just to get. It could even be a game that I always play with you guys, but just to play with some random folks on the same game or different. Yeah, because you know what? It's just like
and
especially
and
like
not
social
to be
deduction
afraid to
games.
walk up, right? Or not be afraid to walk up to a table that a game that looks interesting just on face value and ask them, hey, what you got? I've had it happen. And then, maybe you see that person later and say, how did that game work out? Well, let's try this. But I think the most important thing about conventions and any type of situation like that is that everybody needs to have the fun they're looking for and not the fun that somebody makes them have. But, just find your niche and enjoy yourself. It's your vacation. You should enjoy it the way you want to enjoy it. But I encourage everybody to say hello to somebody you don't know and try a game you have not heard of before. You never know.
Absolutely.
We'll report back.
And you mentioned Flamingo Con. Is that in the Miami area? I know you said South Florida.
Barbara Willett and Cynthia Broderick run it. It's a one-day con. They hold it 3 times a year, and solid, very, very solid. I met Barbara and Cindy at the original Dice Tower, and they both worked for registration, which is me, and really wonderful people and great gaming community. And they said they started this sort of one-day con, not so little, and they do a really, really good job with it. So it's my guilty pleasure 3 times a year is to drive down there and have some gaming.
Nice. So people, I'm
But
sure,
always when-
can go online and look that up and get the information if they're interested.
yeah, and it's on Facebook too. So,
Cool.
but just any chance to be in a different group of people, to give myself the opportunity to play something different. You just never know. You never know. And you
Absolutely.
get a little gem like
Agreed.
Hadara or Dune Imperium, which was right in front of me the whole time. I just was passing it by.
Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Good insight. Yeah.
Thanks.
Great
Appreciate
call.
the call. Great
Thanks for
call.
the call.
Great question. Thank you, Lori.
Have a good night, Lori.
No problem. Have a good con, guys.
Don't make
Thanks.
it the last time you call.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Man, a one-day con. I wonder what's the logistical thing of that.
You'd have to pack it in, right? Like,
Yeah.
I would
I wonder how
You
many.
know what? You know what that tells me? That's some dedicated folks to do a one-day con.
I mean, I've heard of it.
If most
before.
of the people are local to the area, you drive in. I mean, you rent a
Bring
hall
your
for
own
the day,
games or
bring your
whatever.
own games. And,
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's got its
It's awesome.
appeal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not having to take a vacation from work or anything. It's just on a weekend, a Saturday, all day. Yeah, it's not a bad
yeah,
thing.
kind of like what we do our monthly game day.
I was gonna say, yeah, you guys
Conify
pretty
it.
much do a one-day con
con.
once a month.
Once a
Yeah,
month, yeah.
there you go. Yeah, every
Just,
second
and there's,
Saturday.
let me tell you, there's so many. Like I was just thinking, so like you had Origins like 2 weeks ago, then you had BGG at sea, and then you had RageCon, which is a big war gamer thing out in like Vegas, and then you have Dice Tower, and then you have Gen Con, and like it's just like nonstop. Like in the last,
Yeah, we're in con season right now,
Yeah,
for
it's
especially.
crazy.
Yeah. Mm.
Hey, Mike, during that
Well-
call, did you decide where you want to put Sleeping Gods? Like, did you make a decision?
No, I haven't. The funny thing is, I haven't even looked at my list, man. I'm so scatterbrained today for some reason. I don't even know why.
So
But it'll definitely make my top 20. I don't even know what my top 20 is anymore. Let me pull that up and.
Yeah,
do you even board game?
I haven't looked either. I
Yeah,
told Carlos, I was like, I don't even know. I have to come over here and look at the wall and try to figure out what's going on behind me. I didn't even look at my games. Yeah.
I think he's put too much pressure on you guys with this top 20 thing today.
No, I mean, it's the day. It is the day.
It's-
but
it's
it's
the
okay.
day? Is it the day?
There'll be another day.
Yeah.
Really?
How's your top 20, William? You got one for us yet?
You know what? I want people to ask me what it might be. How's that? Why don't you make that the whole thing? People probably don't even know what my top 20 would be ever be.
It'd be too
Did
scattered.
you ever
Yeah.
do your top 20?
Oh, I had one, but I don't know if I should it's got to be like a secret because everyone's gonna think, oh, it's just gonna be games of conflict,
All right.
war, where I'm just a.
Don't tell me anything. I don't want
ass.
to hear it, man. Keep
But
it a secret.
you guys might actually be surprised at what my top 20 would be.
Okay, Frodo, you keep your secrets.
That's right. I'm keeping the ring. It's my precious, damn it.
What is that,
sharing.
Boromir? Is that who said that?
No
You
sharing.
keep your little secrets.
Keep it
Wayne,
secret.
how you doing on that
That's-
top
Keep it
20?
safe.
Yeah, it's it's funny is so I mean I think Rob's excuse is he only played a few games this month, but I played 19 unique games this month, so I'm up
Jesus,
there.
man.
But I only have one that's going in my top 20 right now, and that's the aforementioned Quacks of Quedlinburg comes in at number 16, displacing
Excuse me.
Nidavellir off my list, which
That
is good.
falls
Yeah,
off.
that game falls off. It kind of was really hot on it when I first played it. The first 5 or 10 plays, I'm like, oh, this is really good, and then it just kind of gets kind of a little repetitive, and I think the expansions add too much craziness to it. But no, Quacks of Quedlinburg was great. It added, right on the list. The Sushi Go game it almost made the list.
Just for the
'cause it was-
fun factor.
Just for the fun factor, right? But I think it falls into I played a bunch of games with my kid this month, and so we had talked on Discord about some of those lighter games that are kid games. It's kind of hard for those to offset some of the bigger, more expansive games that you play. So it almost like I might make a second list of just kids games and 2-player games that I play that I have
Like
a hard
family
time.
style games.
Yeah, not even family,
Games you
like
play with your
kid-
family.
Yeah, games played with family because Obsession and Raiders of the North Sea and Concordia, Birmingham, those are not like the games I play with my kid aren't really going to get replaced by that, but the experience is just as good, right? Like that Sushi Go game is amazing. Like we love it. We're laughing, throwing the little squishy thing at each other. It's just a fun game, right? But it's not going to make my top 20 as far as the best games I play. But if it was the game, because I view the list as best games, right? Not necessarily the most fun.
I mean,
So
I've only
Okay.
played one game. I've only played one game this whole month, and it was the same game multiple times. It was Kill Team.
No, you play Quartermaster with us, Quartermaster General.
Oh yeah.
I think, did you play that twice with us?
No, just that one
Just
game
that
at
one?
that shop. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
just the
once
one.
at your house. That was it. So I played two times total, but no.
No, not making the top 20.
No, I don't think it. No. No.
yeah, it's not making my top 20 either.
Hello, caller. We're talking about our top 20 games played in the year of 2023. State your name, where you're calling from.
Hey guys, it's Aaron calling from Columbus.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna let you guys go for a little bit on your top 20, but it doesn't sound like there's too much updating going on. So figured it was safe to call.
Been a little slow, yeah.
We appreciate
timing.
you popping in. I think Origins was a recent affair. Did you make it out there?
It was. No, I didn't make it. I think I made it. I kind of moved to Columbus in like 2017, and I think I made it the first 3 years I was here, and I haven't been back since the pandemic kind of hit. I thought about going, but we're taking a vacation at the end of the month, so I decided to hold some.
And
if
I'm right, if I remember, baby at home too, right?
Yeah, we've got it's 18 months now, so there's
I
only
keep
so
up on my
much time.
callers. I listen, folks. You
Yeah.
call in. You get
I
on the prayer
appreciate
list. Put y'all in prayer.
Folks, he has a book where he
I
writes everything
appreciate
down.
That's great.
Talk about your top 20s. Like, help us out, because apparently we're not playing the right games right now.
Yeah, you know what? I should spend some time on sending a top 20 over. I don't know if I'd be able to put a real good top 20 for the year together, but I have played quite a few games in the last month or so, probably since the last time I called, that I think would I don't know about make top 20 all time, but it's certainly been pretty great games. A couple recently that I was going to call about. One is called Tiwanaku. It was a Kickstarter game, and it's really kind of it's a deduction game, but they've kind of gamified it a little bit with like victory points and stuff. So I think somewhere between the lines of almost a Sudoku puzzle or Minesweeper. And they have kind of a solo mode, a competitive mode, and a cooperative mode. I've only played a 2-player competitive mode and then kind of just messed around a little bit solo. And I'm not a big deduction person. Those aren't my games. My brain doesn't work that well, but I think they did just enough to make it feel more like a game and less like a puzzle. So that one was pretty cool. I don't know if you guys are pulling that up, but
I just got
really beautiful
BGG right now. So yep. Go ahead.
Really beautiful looking game and really functional. They've got this. So the idea here is they have this little decoder basically where you put the puzzle disc in. One side has kind of the setup. It kind of gives you kind of like what an initial Sudoku puzzle would look like on this game board. And so you set it up, and then you put the actual disc inside the kind of the circle decoder, and that's kind of how you look up to kind of confirm that you've got these guesses right. And so it's there's kind of 2 layers to it. First, you've got to kind of figure out which land tile goes down on the grid. So you can play a smaller version, which is like a 5x5 grid, so 25 tiles, or the other side, which is kind of more of the full game, which is a 9x5 grid, so 45 squares. And you're kind of filling the board with these different. There's 4 different terrain types that can go in there, and these and then on top of those terrain types are crops. And so the way it works is they've given you this puzzle so that you know that the terrain types can be in groups of up to a group of 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. but they have to be like a orthogonally adjacent sort of group. So you can't have a mountain or a blue terrain or water terrain diagonally next to another one. So you kind of have these rules in place so you can kind of see where one group of a certain type of terrain may end. And then the same thing with the crops. If there's a terrain grouping of, let's say, 4 of one type, then there's a level 1 crop, a level 2 crop, a level 3 crop, and a level 4 crop. It has to have one of each of those within it. And so you can start to deduce things based on these rules, and you're getting points by kind of revealing the different terrain tiles, but most of your points come in by actually getting the correct crop tile in the right location. So I'm probably not explaining that.
Well,
super
no,
well,
I think
but
you are.
hopefully
Tell me if I
pictures
got
are
a
good.
little bit of a gist of it, because you
Reminds me
talked a
like
little bit of
Alchemist.
Sudoku there, right? But I'm also
Yeah.
getting kind of like a feel of like Minesweeper.
I was saying,
Almost?
Minesweeper came to my mind. Yep.
So am I understanding that right? If I get
Yeah.
the right feels of Minesweeper?
Yeah, it's some intersection of those two, and honestly, it doesn't feel exactly like one or the other, but absolutely some intersection of those two. And they really did a good job of kind of making it more of a game, because at the end of the game, it's whoever has the most victory points. And so you get more, you get points early on in the game. You've got to start revealing the terrain tile types to even know which crops would go on there. And so a lot of that is just kind of exploring the map, but you get more points if you're kind of spreading out the types of terrain you get. So there's I'm not sure what the tracks are called, but each of the terrain types has a track, and you score points based on when you move let's say you revealed a mountain tile terrain, you would get points based on however many of your tokens are on that level. So if I move that up 2 levels, you kind of want to keep those at the same level to score more points. And so, it encourages you to kind of spread out in the map and get more information out there. But you want to be careful of that, because the more information you reveal, the more you start to give your opponent. And then that's the other action on the turn. You can actually move your meeples to spaces where there aren't already crop tiles and start to make what they call a divination, to kind of guess what crop tile is on it. And if you guess correctly, you get the points associated with that level of crop tile. If you guess incorrectly, you lose those points, and you won't be able to do any more divinations during the turn. And then they also couple it with kind of like a mini set collection where, again, you want to kind of spread out. Each time you guess correctly a crop tile, you get a little token of that matching crop. And at the end of your turn, you can turn those different types of those in for additional victory points. So you can never collect like 2, I don't know, like there's chili pepper, cocoa pepper, I think corn. So like you can never have 2 corn. You can only have one of each type at a time. But at any point, you can return up to 5 of those for kind of a heightened number of victory points as well. So they've done just a really good job balancing it, and it's something I think I could get a lot of people to try out.
This
Tell
looks
me about
really
this.
interesting.
Yes, tell me about this dial thing. I'm getting the feels of that '90s toy, the
Viewmaster.
Viewmaster. You remember you would like click it and it would spin the pictures.
90s.
What is that dial?
Before 90s. Yeah.
It's
80s, man, 80s.
It's
80s.
a really cool. Yeah, it is a really cool component. I mean, they really nailed it for something that you would think. Like I'm trying to think. I remember I never played it, but like Turing Machine came out. There were like people talking about how crazy this is. That this is a board game that can kind of fix these puzzles. Well, they kind of did a similar thing here. That like this is a complex math problem they did for these puzzles, but they've got this little disc that slips right in that reader. And it's super easy. All you do is you can see on the grid, you line up like they've got the disc on the one side has like animal symbols like snake and turtle and bird and stuff. And then on the other side, you've got other symbols. And so you just line those up on the dial and you can, reveal the window that's got the terrain tile location and it'll, there's just a little circle there that you can see what type of tile goes there. Or you reveal the the other window, and it tells you which crop goes there. So, you know, you got to be a little bit careful that you kind of making sure you're not opening the wrong window at the wrong time. But it's really impressive. Mine is a little loose, so you kind of got to be careful standing it straight up and kind of want to keep it somewhat flat. But I think that might just be, I don't know if that was just the one that I have, or if there are more problems out there that they just don't fit quite as tight. So those windows, if you're holding it straight up, kind of like to fall open.
Game companies are doing an interesting job now with coming up with these different ways to do this puzzle thing. I mean, a lot of escape rooms now have these mechanics, these little dials and stuff that you can turn to try to reveal things and crack codes and do things like that. And then we've seen it with some, I forget what the game is. There's one now where you're making potions and you're trying to combine the right ingredients to solve another. It's
Oh, that
really
was
just
was that Alchemist? That was a while
Alchemist was
ago.
similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Alchemist did that a
Yeah.
little while back. So yeah, there's several of these games now that use this, but this dial, this kind of, I don't want to call it a toy mechanic, but it's almost a toy. It's a little thing that you play with. Seems really cool.
Oh, I just wanted to like spin it like a zzz.
No, yeah, all those extra little discs you put in there, but yeah, it seems pretty cool. Yeah.
Carlos,
Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah. The other game I wanted to mention, and really quickly, because I think I saw it, the original on the shelf back there, and it's one of my probably top 20, maybe top 10 games of all time, is Ethnos.
Oh yeah, great game.
Yeah.
They've come out with the kind of reskin, retheme.
Yep.
I got to play it tonight, and it's almost.
I want to hear
I mean,
more. Yeah, show is yours. You get another 15 minutes because I'm trying to decide on buying this one. I love Ethnos. It is top list. I just don't know if the Arceos, I can't remember the name of it,
Arceus, yeah,
Society or something.
Yeah, Arceus Society.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So I would give it a play before I buy it, because first of all,
Damn,
it's
man,
not.
that's not what I wanted to hear.
I've heard this from a few people.
Damn.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was so excited about this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead.
I'm not saying that necessarily is a bad thing, but they changed the game enough that it's not just a new printing of Ethnos. It's really not. But it was still, I really enjoyed the experience. So the big change, and I don't know how much you've looked at this, is they've gone away with area control. It's no longer area control.
Right.
The map is gone.
Moving on to tracks.
It is now 6 tracks. Yes. And what's really cool about those tracks is those tracks are not all created equal in a couple ways. We played the base game, and it's not just they're not all an exact, you need one band of cards here, and then you need a band of 2 cards to move up, then a band of 3 cards to move up, then a band of 4 cards to move up. It's not that. They're all a little different. The victory points get earned at different rates. So it was kind of a cool dynamic, because when you play Ethnos, as you get into that third era, you've got to play really big bands, and that's the case here too. But there are little moments, and there are tracks that you can still kind of move up with the smaller bands late in the game. So there's some cool dynamics there. And then on the flip side, which we didn't play with, but each of those tracks have a flip side of the board that kind of break the game a little bit, or have like a special power, special ability, special way to score that you can opt into in a game. They kind of give you instructions to say, hey, play one of these boards on its unique side, and everything else plays normally. So that's a cool kind of way to add more variability and some replayability. And then the other thing they've tried to do, which I think is a small thing, but probably nice, is when the market runs out, before there's a lot of just top decking a single card.
Right.
That still happens a bit, but now if the market is ever out, you get to draw 2 cards. So it kind of speeds that up a little bit, and then you do that for a round, and people are ready to play their bands back out, and
But is there like a dragon mechanism still for end of game or end of round?
Yeah, so they've got monkey idols, so that works exactly the same. So those are still there.
Oh, so it's really helps somebody push that end game. If I know I'm leading in the tracks and I want to end in this position,
Drawing 2 at a time.
Drawing 2 at a time is big.
Yeah. If the market is empty, you can draw 2 at a time. So yeah, there's definitely some some moments that you can kind of rush the end of the game if you really think you're winning. But my sister said something that's interesting too. It's they didn't print the information, like the abilities on the card. They kind of went with an icon sort of approach, and then just give a kind of player reference on the back of the rule book. And then the way the tracks are, it's not super easy to kind of do some quick math like I think you could on Ethnos, right? You can kind of see who's winning control of which region, and you're not playing defense in the same way. So it's a bit less conflict in this new version, because before, hey, I add to my band so I can control, and I'm getting first place in all of these points.
And I have the trolls. And I have the trolls. Right. Bring it.
Right. So you're not taking away points from anyone by increasing your positioning on a track, at least not in kind of the six standard sides of the track. So it's just a little bit of a different game, I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I did pick it up, and I couldn't let Ethnos go, so I just gave it to a family member. But
you're gonna go ask for it back? Are you gonna be like, can I have my Ethnos back?
Trade you out. I'll give you this one.
I'm not, but I don't think it's different enough where I would say, oh, have both in your collection. But at the same time, if you like that kind of tug and a little bit of that conflict of that area majority,
yes,
you're not getting that in this new game. You're just not. But there are some cool things that the boards and tracks do. So, what do you like more? I don't know.
All right, so for me, the biggest part of Ethnos was, and I think I mentioned it earlier in the show when William brought up his new game he got. I like playing games like war games and in different ways with different mechanisms, and like Ethnos just does that for me.
Yeah.
It gives me that area control battle. I want to fight you for this region because it's got the coolest increment of points.
Yeah, that randomization.
Oh god, I love that. Like that, we're gonna leave Duras alone.
Well, it may be worth 0 points in round 1 and 0 points in round 2, but in round 10 it's worth 10.
We fighting, and we're, like every round we're putting one token there just to kind of start
just
preparing.
To the door. Yeah, I love that.
Oh, I'm gonna miss that. I guess Aaron, thank you for bringing that up because that's huge. Like this game has been on my mind.
Yeah.
I've been watching it being produced, and I've been weirded out. I know tracks are big. I know Tapestry makes everyone think, oh, tracks are awesome. Yeah. I think Rob got a little giddy when Lori talked about tracks.
Oh, tracks. Tracks are good.
But area control for me is where it's at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought, I've loved Ethnos for that reason. I thought it did kind of simple. I've always thought of it as like, Ticket to Ride meets area control, right? There's a lot of the same mechanisms with that card drafting and that card play with area control layered on top of what I think is one of the coolest simple mechanisms out there, this leader. Like you play a set of cards, but that leader means so much to what you're actually doing.
Gives you your power,
Whichever card you decide to put on top of that set just can do so much. What a cool little thing. And it's just that combination. So again, I say Archeo Society is great. I'm going to keep it. Ethnos didn't go far. I left it in the family. But yeah, just I would say don't get rid of Ethnos until maybe you give the other one a try. So
good call.
All right, well, Paulo Mori is huge on my list of top game designers. I have a ton of his games, but right now he's shooting 0-2 on remakes. Libertalia.
Oh, that's right.
Part 2.
Yeah.
And now Archeo. I haven't even played it. I'm already going to go on BGG.
On the fence.
I'm already going to give it a 1 on BGG.
Exactly.
Damn.
No. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll let you guys go. But one other question I was going to it's con season. We're getting kind of the second half of the year. So if there's any up-and-coming games that you're all excited about, please share. I'd love to kind of see if there's some things.
This was it. You ruined it for me.
That are coming.
Like this was the one. I'm done for con season. I'm not buying anything no more.
Sorry to hear that.
No, I appreciate you, man. I'll let the guys answer off the line.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Thanks
night.
for calling. Have a good night.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Aaron from Columbus, long time ago caller.
Yeah.
So glad to see him back. I think Aaron introduced us to
What was it?
oh my God.
I don't remember.
His buddy out of Columbus that we met at retreat.
Yes.
It'll
I
come
don't remember
to
his
me.
name. Yeah. Yep.
All right, fellas. Aaron had a question for you. What games are you looking for that are coming out this con season?
Well,
That's
I
a
mean,
tough
it's an old game, but I got my shipping notification from my Castles of Burgundy
Oh,
fancy
there you go,
version
Castles of
today.
Burgundy.
I got no notification.
Yeah,
means
everybody
you're
was
not
in
in
the
the
chat
first
today talking about their
containers.
notifications. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a late play. I was super late.
Yeah,
I was
so-
like the last day.
Oh, there you go. You wait.
I
you-
guess
you
3
lose out.
containers have hit America, and supposedly, if you got a notification yesterday or today, or maybe even into tomorrow, it means you're in one of those 3 containers. If not,
Well, I
you'll be
saw
the
the
next
first
group of
picture
containers.
today online of somebody's box on their front step. So
Yeah, must be-
somebody's got it.
They live like right next door.
Must
That's
be,
like when,
yeah, it's-
that's like when what was it? Not quartermaster general, the quartermaster logistics. They're over in Orlando,
Yeah.
so like if it's going through them, sometimes it's like you get it same day. You're like, yes.
Yeah. Nice.
I see no notification.
No.
I'll wait for the July ship. I think mine's on the July ship.
Yeah, and they said that's already landed, I think, or is about to. So
Middle of July. So the first ship landed, I think, the 26th of June, which is probably your ship. And the next ship, I think, is like 13th of July.
Watch
so
your mouth.
it's
We're
after
talking about other
10.
people's
He
ships.
could
Yeah,
do
after
whatever
10.
he wants.
Well, I got it real quick. I'm gonna go in here. You mentioned Palamori, but talking Palamori, but not talking Palamori. I saw on the
hell is that?
on board game.
Yeah, they got another. Yeah.
There's a third one coming out in the series. They announced.
Oh, they
now.
did?
Yes,
Air
but it's not
battles.
Palamori.
Oh, but it's
Palamori
not.
did not do this one. It's called
Yeah.
Dogfight. It's an airplane based, but it's the same kind of system.
PSC games?
Yep, it's the same thing. It looks the covers look the same, box size is the same. It's the font is the same, so it all looks about the same. But so you had Blitzkrieg, you had Caesar, and so I was wondering whether you had heard anything about it because I know you're big
I had
on these
not.
games. But okay, so Dogfight.
I'm
is,
gonna have to look for that one
That
now.
one up, but yeah.
Aaron, there's your answer for me. Dogfight by
Dogfight.
PSC Games.
you twisted on that quick. That was a quick pivot from Arceus to
Listen, Arceus, I don't know about y'all, but I've been watching it because it's Paolo,
Yeah.
right? And I love his stuff. I got a ton of Paolo games. Don't make me go through the list. Anyway, I've been watching it, and then I've been kind of like getting this feeling like, oh, look, this looks really different. Like, this does not look. All I wanted was a reskin of Ethnos.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just wanted a prettier Ethnos. That's all I wanted.
Yep.
That's not what we got.
They messed with it.
They did. They messed with it.
Yeah, so I'm a little down on it too. I've heard several people say that this is not quite what they were expecting. So yeah,
But you guys are still going to try it, though, right? Before
I'll
you
try it.
write it
I'll
off.
try it.
Yeah.
It's no longer going to be a buy on site.
Yeah, I mean, but is it because you?
I
were
actually
expecting
want to
another
try Undaunted. Are you going to
Ethnos
bring
game?
Undaunted?
I'm gonna bring Undaunted, Battle of Britain, and
Yeah, I wanna try that
Okay,
one.
the answer is yes. I'm bringing them both because I want to play 4-player Undaunted.
Yeah.
and I also want to play the new Battle of Britain, which is the airplane game. So I'm bringing both of those.
What were you saying, William?
I said what I was saying is like, is it you upset because it's not Ethnos again, or should
Yes.
you just give it a try? What if it's just a different game that it's good just because it's a different game?
Oh, we'll try it. Like I said,
I mean, you don't hear me say it too often.
No, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say I don't like this side of you. I don't like this
Yeah.
reasonable thinking side of you.
Yeah,
I want
well.
the angry, like just go with your gut.
shirtless William. Or,
All right, well, this
sleeveless
sucks.
William?
Yes,
There
that's
you
what
go.
I wanted to hear.
That's better.
There you go.
Mike, what have you been on the lookout for? Answer Aaron's question on this con season that you're excited about game wise.
Where'd that paintbrush go? I don't know where it went.
He threw it.
If I had to pick a game right now, I'd probably say Scythe Expeditions.
Expedition. That was where I
1920.
was going to go. Yeah, you got it.
Odak had
Um,
posted that in the chat. That's what he's looking forward to playing this con season.
Yeah, I mean, the only other game that I'd probably want to play it's already out and they've got like a second Kickstarter going right now with the new expansion is Scarface 1920.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
That's another
that
one
looks
I'd
good.
like to give a
Supposed to be good.
try.
Yeah. Somebody, I saw that posted somewhere that somebody said they were bringing that to Dice Tower. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah, somebody in one of the Discord groups, I think. So,
Isn't that the one that Chester got?
yes, I think so. Yeah,
He's been
Chester's
trying to
been
get
asking
us.
to
We
play
got
it.
to get him over here then.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good. It's getting good reviews.
Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Chester, if you're watching, I know you texted us like last week.
Yeah. I don't think he watches, but we got to get him watching. Yeah.
So there
All
you go.
right.
There's my
Yeah,
choice.
Expeditions is mine. You brought that up, Mike. That's the big one. The more I'm seeing of Expeditions, the more I think I'm going to love it. And
Yeah.
I'm hearing a few people that are saying the opposite. They're saying, the more I'm seeing, it doesn't seem that exciting, but to me, it seems pretty cool. I'm big on exploration, and we've had this
So am I.
conversation
Yeah.
before. I really like exploration in my 4X games, and we talked about that's one of the reasons I'm not big on Clash of Cultures. Clash of Cultures exploration is if you're the first one to move onto a tile, you flip it over, and then you orient it however you want. But there is no actual exploration. You're not discovering anything other than, hey, I see some new terrain, and I get to lay it however I want. But Expeditions is all about trying to reveal places, get the right combination of tiles so that you can move between things. So, I mean, it looks really good to me.
Yeah.
Wayne, we were in your top 20 when that phone call came in.
Yeah. Well, as I said, just the one game, the Quacks moved up into, and Nivellier fell off, and then we were talking about the dim sum game. So,
For the podcast listeners at home, hit them with your top 20 since you did have movement.
Sure. So number 20 is Maglev Metro. Number 19, Biblios. Number 18, Cascadia. Number 17, First Rat, which I will bring to Dice Tower because I think a lot of folks, you guys want to give it a shot.
Put me on that list. Yep.
Number 16, Quacks of Quedlinburg. Number 15, Viticulture. Number 14, Crusade, and that's Viticulture World. I haven't actually gotten base Viticulture to the table. I think speaking of viticulture, like even Jamie Stegmeyer on his show this week was talking about how hard Viticulture World is, and that
That's
he barely
why
ever.
I haven't played it. My wife keeps saying, "Hey, I want to play it again." I'm like, I am tired of getting beat up.
Yeah, even he said that he barely beats the base world and has not even tried some of or doesn't really get to the hard continents very often. Number 14, Crusaders, Thy Will Be Done. Number 13, Wingspan Asia. Number 12, Barren Park. Number 11, Medici, which, hey, some people posted in the Dice Tower East looking for games Medici. So,
oh, really?
There you go.
Cool.
See, yeah, people still want to play it. Number 10, Tyrants of the Underdark. Number 9, Obsession. Number 8, Raiders of the North Sea. Number 7, Mansions of Madness. Number 6, Zulkin, the Mayan Calendar. Number 5, Lost Ruins of Arnak. Number 4, Comic Hunters, which I will be bringing my copy to Dice Tower East.
Excellent.
I got to get that to the table.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Number 3, Concordia. Number 2, Brass Birmingham. Which should I bring Lancashire to Dice Tower?
Yeah, bring that. I want to play that.
If we have an opportunity, that's definitely on the
Let's
list.
play that.
Because you guys want to see the difference, right? And then number 1, Castles of Burgundy. So
nice.
Yeah.
Good list. Good list. I approve.
Yeah.
Rob approves. All right, I got 2 editions for this month.
Get them up there.
Right off the bat, I guess the most recent play for me is Quacks of Quedlinburg.
So what's coming up?
I thought you were. I thought I was going to make
Go ahead
your
and knock
list.
2 off. We're losing 2.
Tapestry coming off of was previously number 20. Tapestry now off the list. And the
then
old 19 was Biblios.
That makes me sad.
That hurts.
That
Biblios.
does hurt.
Oh, these better be good.
All right, I guess we'll start off by bringing those Chocolate Factory to the bottom, and my 20. Ethnos going to 19. In 18 is going to be Shogun, which I think it deserves another play.
Yeah, I need to play that.
Yep. Radlands is going to 17. Quartermaster General is going to 16.
All right, I'll bring my copy then.
Ooh,
Shogun, yeah.
Shogun.
Well, I have
Dune
Shogun, the big box
Imperium.
edition with the Kickstarter all acrylic pieces.
If it's prettier, I might like it more. Dune Imperium, yeah, get that off my list. Get that down.
Oh, no.
All the way down to 15, and this is where it got real tight for me because I'm talking about Quacks here. I do want to play Quacks more than Furnace, so Furnace goes down to 14. I do want to play it more than Smartphone. I don't know. I'm stuck here. Like Smartphone.
Oh boy, we'll be here for another hour.
We're gonna go Smartphone 13, Quacks at 12. Robert, Quacks
I love
is
12.
going to
All right.
12.
I love how Quacks went from it might not even make my list after the one play you had
Right.
a couple days ago.
Exactly.
Now it's like in your
Yeah,
top
that's what he
10. Your
said.
top 10.
3 plays in the last 2 days, and I already ordered the expansion.
Call
so
to the new. Call to the new.
Unreal.
for a game I've had forever,
For the recently played. Yep.
because it's
It's a
good.
thing. It's a thing.
And I guess it got really good when I started going through all the different books of the same ingredient. So every ingredient comes with 4 different versions of that ingredient. So it's like, oh, imagine if we played it with this version. And then I looked at the expansion, and they add another 2. So like 6 different versions of each ingredient
Nice.
can really
Yeah.
add to the replayability of the game.
Yeah.
So looking forward to getting the
Yeah,
expansion.
I think Quacks will climb up. If I play it a few more times, it'll climb a
That's
bit
a good
on
one.
my
I think the
list.
more I play, the better it gets. It's like the more ingredients you throw in the pot, the better it gets. until it blows up. Lost Ruins is going to 11. Gizmos is going to 9. We're talking Undaunted. Now, I'm using just the word Undaunted.
The whole series, you're going to lump them together?
I don't know, Robert. Is it fair to really chop them up?
They're different games.
We'll vote here. When it comes to Undaunted, should each iteration of Undaunted, and Mike, you're an Undaunted player, should each iteration have its own game on the top 20 list?
Can only be people who have played.
You guys vote.
I would say you have to separate Stalingrad out. Only because
that one I would separate out.
And the newest one, the plain battle one.
The plain one too. Yeah. But I think I think Africa and Normandy you could definitely lump together.
I agree 100%.
Okay, so I've only played Normandy, so when I play Battle of Britain, I will have to separate that one out. Yep. And Stalingrad is on my wish to own. I just don't think I'll ever get through that whole campaign.
Yeah.
All right. This is where it gets tough. Because we're talking Undaunted, the deck building game.
Versus Tyrants.
Tyrants,
the deck building game. Area control.
Oh, man.
Both have
You're just glad Dan's not there. He'd jump across the table.
Yeah, he'd have it with you by now.
That is a tough. Like I'm thinking myself, like if because I know how high Undaunted is on my list. I just haven't played it this year, unfortunately. But I know now that my son lives here, we're definitely going to get back to our playing through the series. I think for me, honestly, I think it would probably go above Tyrants if it were my list.
Here's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah,
I want to play it more than Cascadia. Now, mistakes were made. Cascadia is currently above Tyrants, above Viticulture, above Crusaders.
You need to play that again so it can drop off your list.
Yeah.
That's the right answer.
That's it.
Drop off the list. Really?
I'm joking. So it can go lower in his
From
list.
5 to nothing.
I'm going to go Tyrants to 9, Viticulture to 7, because I'd rather play Undaunted over Viticulture.
Wrong.
And then, I'd rather play Crusaders over Undaunted. So Undaunted is going to the 7 spot. So Viticulture got the 8 spot. Undaunted, Normandy takes the 7 spot. And if we play it at 4-player, it might change. Crusaders, I will be done at 6. Cascadia is still at 5 because I got to play it again so that I can bring it down more into like the bottom quartile. I think it'll fit in the bottom quartile. Yeah. Mosaic at number 4, Concordia at number 3. Number 2 is Castles of Burgundy, and number 1, right where it belongs, Brass Birmingham.
Right.
That's my
Diego
updated
also
list.
played. Looks like Diego also played.
A lot of us played that in the last week. Yeah.
And then I love this one. This takes some. So Aaron.
Yeah, it takes some
never
cojones
played
to put that on our channel.
No, never played Castles, but then went all in on the collector's edition. That's
a jump.
I mean, that's a jump. That's jumping in the deep end. But
that's wrong. That's what that is.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Windows shut down.
I see nothing wrong with that. I think it's awesome. If you're gonna jump in, jump in.
No, jump in. What's wrong is the fact that he's never played it before.
Yeah, that's a great game, Aaron. You're gonna love Castles. It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's our top 20 updates for the month of in the month of June. It's our top 20 update. We'll do it again in July, the last week of July.
The last week of July,
we'll do it again.
I think the fact that since Dice Towers next week, we have 5. I think we're gonna have a lot of new games next month.
Yeah, dedicate the whole show to that.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think that'll be tough because for me it'll be a lot of first plays of games, and so yeah, that'll be tough.
But more importantly, we got to get Blood Rage to the table with Dan. Dan said he's never played Blood Rage.
Has never played Blood Rage.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've only played it digitally. So
God, with Dan?
I'll play it in person. Agents of Chaos.
It's better in person,
man.
for sure.
He'd be.
Dan's going. Yeah, the chaos that he's going to bring to that game is just.
I'd go Loki without Loki cards.
Yeah, he will. He'll find a way.
Dan, what are you doing over there?
We played. We played Moonrakers this weekend with Dan, Sam, and I forget the young guy's name that played. And so I got a little glimpse of the chaos that Dan can bring in a negotiation game.
Oh, yeah.
It was fun. That was the best part of the game.
Classic Dan. Classic Dan.
Yeah. I felt like your review on the podcast, shout out and, a little spoiler there for y'all. Podcast every week or so. Mitchell and Wayne get together and have a great
every week, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah. We've been doing every week.
But your review of Moonrakers really felt in line with what Robert described it to me as.
How did you describe it?
I think part of that conversation ended up being like Munchkin.
It's kind of like your classic deck building game with some Munchkin element.
Where you're trying to prevent somebody from winning, from getting that last victory.
You're going up that track from first 1 to 10 wins. So if someone gets to 8 or 9, no one's going to help you, or people are going to try and screw you over.
It's really tough to get that last point or two. It seems like it's always a really tough one. And so all the way through the game, you're having people help you get a point here, point there, point here. But then as soon as like you say, when you get to 8, probably you're about 2 points away from winning. Nobody wants to help you, so you got to draw the right perfect cards to let you get that right mission when it comes up to get that last point
or the right secret thing. And I know we were all like at 6, 7, 8-ish, and like Sam tried to do a mission, and she rolled like 2 dice with 2 damage things, so she moved from like 8 to 4, and it was like, okay, well, I just played 2 hours, like, and that's like a spirit crusher when you can do like, I didn't like that aspect of like, if you didn't block the damage, you go back, and that's good. That was pretty crazy that she went.
It outstayed its welcome a little bit for me.
Yeah, like 2 hours. We were at 2 hours, and we were like, okay, let's just end this. So the artwork,
for God's sake, so somebody just let Wayne win.
Yeah,
kind
of
of
we know. Yeah, it was like, who can I king make? Let's get. But the artwork was gorgeous. I mean, it was a gorgeous game, but yeah, it just outstayed its welcome, and it didn't really iterate on the deck building that much.
If you ever want to see. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, it was one of the few negotiation games I've liked, but it's just too long. It's that whole thing again, seeing somebody get to 8 and then everybody teaming up against them. It's just makes it drag. But go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, if you ever want to see Nick Oben pissed off, play that game with him.
I've heard this story.
But you have to play with Dan and Nick at the same time.
Oh God, I haven't heard this story.
That story got told when we were playing too. Yeah,
that may not happen again. Was. It's all in good fun. I mean, it's in jest, but it was pretty funny to see Nick get that heated over a game.
I love the fireworks that occur when Dan and Nick are in the same game. Like, I love the fireworks that come out of that.
A little bit of a Gloomhaven, Jaws the Lion. Give me the damn deck.
There's nothing I can buy.
I can afford any of this.
I remember watching that in the stream when he did that.
Yeah, classic.
All right, we're getting to the end of the show here. Anybody got any highlights of games they played recently that they want to bring up? I know, Wayne, you talked a lot about it on the podcast, but anybody else have any recent plays that they wanted to highlight for the folks at home?
The only other
game is a board game show. Do we even play games?
Some of us work.
Unsettled. I taught that to Matthew. Unsettled.
Nice.
And I hate playing the same planet over and over and over again because it's hard to get the same person to play with you more than once. But he was really interested. He really liked the puzzly aspect of it. So I think I'm finally going to start diving into other planets and other missions and everything.
Well, William, you and me and Dan got to play that at Dice Tower.
We finished the whole
second planet.
We finished the first planet, did all the 4 scenarios. I think we're on the second planet, second scenario. I can't remember.
Second or third on the second planet.
But you know what? When whoever wrote the stuff is awesome writer, writer or writers.
Yep,
they do
because they're the ones that make that game go. Like, you can get your butt whooped in that game, but you can just read what it does to you and just laugh.
Because it's funny. Yeah.
That's why I'm so excited about Spirit Fire that they just announced. So.
Oh yeah, I saw you post about that. I didn't know anything about that. Never heard of it. What's the deal with that one?
That's the one I think I told you guys a few months ago when I went to go pick up the expansions for Vindication. I was talking with the 2 main, heads over there at Orange Nebula, and the way that they were describing it was, it's hard to describe, but the way that they said it was, you are the game. So there's no combat in it. It's like an open world type of exploration type of game. You build up your character, but it's kind of like, you see something over there, let's go. I guess kind of like Sleeping Gods in that regard, but you can take your character that you built or that you're working with, and you can bring it over to another person's house that's maybe in a different world, or their world kind of was created or was exposed differently. You can play in their world for a little bit and vice versa. And it's very hard to explain, but they sent out this email to everybody that was on their mailing list, and it was a very long email trying to explain how this game works, and it is kind of like modules, kind of like the planets in Unsettled, and that's like the different worlds type. It just, I would say, get on their mailing list and get the info from them, or join their Facebook group. It typical Orange Nebula art, so that's going to be on point. Their writing, like you said, William, their writing, in my opinion, is on point most of the time. It's Orange Nebula. I mean, they're 2 for 2 in my book, so I'm really looking forward to this game, even though I know it won't be here for quite some time.
Cool.
Now, you said you're playing with Matthew. How are you fitting in like all the Undaunted games and now some Unsettled? You're going heavy on the campaigns. How do y'all decide which to play?
Well, we've been playing Sleeping Gods. He just kind of was like, what's like a story-driven game that you've been wanting to play? I was like, Sleeping Gods. So he's like, let's play that game. So we just kind of broke it out, and that was when he was staying here initially, because he has a job here now. So, and his family's finally here, so they moved into their new place. So that whole thing, I mean, that may end up slowing down our game time, but hopefully it won't too much. But if we have more time, we probably will play more story-based stuff. If we have less time, we'll probably jump into like the Undaunteds or those types of games.
Cool. All right, folks, we're getting down to the last bit. At this point, we'll cut off that phone line as we wrap up the show. I know Robert and I are going to finish up a game of Quacks.
Yeah.
We're on round 8.
8 of 10.
2 rounds
8
to
of 9.
go.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then we start like finishing off the last day of work before we go.
Oh yeah.
Like tomorrow's like I'm gonna have to work Saturday.
I'm working Monday, but yeah.
I
Yeah, I'm
gotta
working
get all this
Monday,
stuff
too.
done before
Yes.
Dice Tower.
Because I was all week long, I'm thinking, like, I have a 4-day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then I've traveled, and like the college isn't closed on Monday. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It's like they usually give you both days, and they didn't this year. I'm like, man.
I don't know what
No.
industry you're in. They usually give us nothing.
Yeah.
Man, you know how much
Thanks.
time I get off? It's crazy. Come on.
I bet.
We need to move into education, Robert.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good
I
thing.
can be an English teacher.
Our wives
You
were.
get,
Or your wife was. Mine is now.
Yeah.
But,
3 weeks at Christmas, 2 spring break. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so I'm going to wrap up work, and then probably after Saturday, when I finish up all the work stuff I got to do, it's going to be just gaming with family in preparation for gaming at the con.
Nice.
Yep.
Looking forward to just spending time, not just at the con, but at the hotel. I love that hotel. That setup that they have there for the families is amazing. The pools, the slides.
You don't have to wait for the con to go. You can go anytime. It's there.
Oh, yeah, see, but you add in the con, and it just makes it.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it makes it that much better.
It's gaming and family time. It's one giant vacation. And to the point where I'm staying even after the con. When the
Yeah.
con's gone, I'm staying for more. And hitting CC's Pizza because I want to make some bad choices.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I know the wife and kids are looking
Jeez
forward to that.
Louise,
Jamie's
man.
mentioned CC's 2 or 3 times, so yeah.
It's something our families do together whenever we get out to Orlando as our two families go together to CC's. Just
It's
all you can
it's
eat
the
pizza
best
for those
taste.
of you out
It's
there
the
who don't
best
know.
tasting laxative I've ever had, man.
Yeah, there you go. It goes right through you.
Yeah.
Clean you out.
No.
Better than Taco Bell. Yeah.
All right, logistics wise, I'll be heading out probably Wednesday, early afternoon, because I know check-in is until like 4. And with the family and the baby, we got to make sure we have a place to be, a place to rally at. So look, once that happens, then we're gonna do dinner, get everyone set up, and then it's gaming from then on. I don't know when you guys are getting out there.
7 a.m.
Open.
Wednesday morning. 8
Yeah,
a.m. whatever it is. Yeah.
I'm riding over with Dan, I think. He's renting a van because he's sold about 300 to 400 games in the online flea market or whatever, virtual flea market, I guess they call it. And so he's he was going to rent a van. Actually, he's not renting a van. He's taking his big vehicle, but he's packing up Tuesday night, and I'm going to meet him early Wednesday, and then we're going to drive over and unpack all the games Wednesday morning, and then be in line for registration at 9 a.m.
He's going to spend half his time delivering games or something.
Yeah.
That's why he
Well,
got
the-
Rob to ride with him.
Yeah, exactly.
The virtual flea market is
Cash or
Thursday.
grass.
Yeah.
Well, last year I helped him out last year, and it was I was literally just waiting in the hallway when he was doing the flea market when he was buying stuff.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
just like, "Here, hold on to this.
Yep.
Here, hold on to this." hold on to this. And then people were walking down the hall. It's like, is that for sale? No.
Nice.
'Cause he
Sam's
had
gonna
like
be there 9 a.m. Wednesday.
stacks of stuff.
Yep, that's my goal. I'm
Wood.
getting on the road, getting over. I'm gonna get on the road early, get out to
Wow.
Orlando, have breakfast, and then be there, 8:30 ish to be right online. So
Oh no, I've got the whole week off. I don't go back to work till the following Tuesday. I'm not waking up early for nothing. I'm enjoying my sleep and just gonna enjoy my days.
Rob and I will have 5 or 6 games played by the time
We'll
get
hold it
there.
down.
You do
Yeah,
it.
We'll hold it down.
I'm counting on you. I'm counting on you. I'm bringing all my war games with me. My hope is to get some wargaming in with William. And usually I find some wargaming buddies out there that they used to have a wargame room at Dice Tower. I used to hang out in there a lot of times.
God, yeah, I used to have the huge fold up paper mats.
Yes, and Richard Borg goes in there with all his buddies. I used to love hanging out in that room, but it's not a thing anymore. So
He doesn't come there anymore and do that anymore since Rob ruined the game.
Ruined it with all my bad dice rolls. Yeah,
God,
that happens.
I did see him last year, though. He was there.
He's always there.
He was there last year.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see him again. That's my plans. We'll see y'all for you Beans and Dicers that are going out to the con. I'll be out there Wednesday afternoon, evening. The rest of y'all enjoy your mornings and all the fun that comes with the traffic of that morning.
So if you're out there and if you have a Beans and Dice thing, we'll post in the Discord. If you have a T-shirt, bring it. And
Thursday night live call-in show.
Yeah,
we're trying we're gonna nail down when we get there exactly where we'll be. Just really depends on the setup. Usually we're either inside the hall. We'll check the internet to see what our speeds are. We might be in the hall. Those are the 2 places we're thinking about doing the show. So just pop in, say hi.
Spreading the word on game day on Thursday. I was telling everybody who was there to make sure they pop by Thursday night to get their face on the show.
And that's all I got. That's it.
Cool.
I don't have a shirt. I'm just gonna wear no shirt.
I got shirts. I'm bringing extras. Shirts.
Somebody bring some sleeves.
Yeah, okay. I'll bring some sleeveless ones just for William.
Look, man,
He'll
it
tear
was
'em
hot
off
today.
himself.
It was hot today at the schools with no AC and the humidity.
95.
I don't want to hear it.
Woo.
Yeah, it was hot. I think
You can
tomorrow's
cut,
supposed
you
to
can
break
cut
a
the air
record.
with a damn knife.
Yeah, it was crazy. Humid.
It was bad.
the heat index was like 107, 108.
Mike's laughing. Mike's like, hey,
I'm living
don't
it
have
up
that
over here, man.
Seattle. Anyway.
All right, folks. That'll do it for another great episode. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining. Mike, all the way from Washington State. You pop
Yeah,
in. We appreciate
Not on
it.
a ferry this time.
Not on a boat. My man Wayne out in Lutz. William, my guy. I'm glad you're showing back up. We thank you. Looking forward to
I
getting
try.
some more gaming in.
Yeah, my league is over with, so now I got some more time.
Time to game.
Aaron says Spirit Fire coming soon from ONEB team. Yes, that is what Mike's excited about. And Rob, you keep showing up at my house, man.
Yeah,
I love it.
Keep showing up every Thursday night. Man.
15 years, I can't shake you, bro.
Well,
I appreciate it.
it's like a bad word or
Relationship?
something. Bad virus, yeah, something.
My heterosexual life partner.
Something.
Yep. Always fun.
And I'm Carlos. It's a nice podcast. A podcast about
how we game.
How we
Thanks
game.
for watching the Beans and Dice podcast.
How we game.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wow. Okay. How we game?
There you go. Fall
There
in
you
line.
go.
Yeah, do the thing.
Well, I
Night,
was just
everybody.
trying to.